Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly, what will I be today? I guess I'll be your friendly, I don't know, pirate captain? I mean, I would say amazing master, but that really seems a little self-congratulatory. But today, we are playing the first of our 2023 charity campaign in support of SOS Children's Villages International through our Heroes Save Villages campaign, the first part of our year-long campaign. This first session, thanks to the generosity and creativity of our donors to the Heroes Save Villages campaign, we have had selected the setting of the 17th century golden age of piracy. The game we will be playing is the Amazing Adventures RPG published by Troll Lord Games, written by Jason Vey. And with me today to join us in the session are the Raiders of the Lost Arcana. So I will go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing today. First up is Dave.
Hey everybody, I am Dave and I am playing First Mate Billy Barnacle. He's a pretty nice guy until he gets into the rum, and he's got a strange manifestation, or he looks a little different. But, you know,
Nice.
Tentacle instead of an arm, but you know, whatever.
Yep. Yep. Next up is Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and today I'm going to be playing Captain Montgomery Hart, and he is a pirate, but, you know, he's a nice guy.
Captain of the Kestrel as well.
The Kestrel, yes.
Next up is David.
Buongiorno, I'm David, and today I'll be playing Signore Sabato di Placido, a notorious heartbreaker and scoundrel who is heavily indebted to Capitano Hart and will do his best to help out where necessary, if he doesn't get distracted by a pretty face or shiny bauble.
Next up is Darren.
Darren here. I'm playing Don Esteban, who's an Arcanist raider, who is, I don't know if... he's got a strange relationship with NDI, is it?
Ndaye.
NDI. Ndaye. Yeah. But I'm sure that will come out as the game goes on. What's happened there?
And last, but certainly not least, is Carl.
Hello, I'm Carl, and I'm playing Ndaye der Herblay. I don't know how you pronounce the last name. Derblay. Yeah, who apparently has a musketeer. That's a musketeer reference. If you guys Google that or look that up, I already did. So it's kind of cool. So maybe that'll come into play with Darren's character.
Nice. Yeah, she is a Senegalese daughter. Half Senegalese, a francophone Senegalese woman. And both Don Esteban and Ndaye have a connection to one another. So the voters for the donors who voted for this session voted for a session of playing treasure hunting characters. The donors have also shaped what the group is going to be, and that is what we are. Our session tonight, perhaps unsurprisingly, will be taking place in the Caribbean. And at present, we'll be opening our scene just off the coast of Tortuga and heading in. We really have kind of two groups of heroes who have been who are adventuring together, as it were. One is the crew of the Kestrel under Captain Hart, and the second is a pair of archaeologists, or perhaps I think occultic treasure hunters might be a good way of thinking of it. Don Esteban Fantôme has the distinction of being one of the members of the secret, the occultic Inquisition, who has been cast out of that, but when he was leaving, Don Esteban managed to make off with the key to the Vatican's secret library, a magical realm that has all the forbidden and heretical texts that were supposed to be forbidden and not allowed access. With Don Esteban's key, he's the only one who can access that secret realm. He has become a bit of a troubleshooter. You do have alliances with some enlightened thinkers in France who are in opposition to not only the Inquisition but also to the some of the darker fates, those who would twist magic and such to their, to their own ends. Ndaye is Don Esteban's lifelong companion, and they have. I'll let the players talk about what the nature of their relationship is as we go through the session. But one of the things is that Don Esteban feels himself responsible for a particular curse that we will see, I'm sure, in play that Ndaye has been afflicted with. You have joined up with Captain Hart at the recommendation of a fellow friend, and you picked him up, I think, further north in the among the 13 colonies, and you have brought him down. The reason you have come down here, Don Esteban, and Ndaye, is in search of a dangerous Russian mystic who goes by the name of Knyaz Vadim Zakharovich. Also in English, that might be Count Zakharovich. Count Zakharovich is a notoriously dangerous mystic, and let me see if I've got an illustration for him. I believe I do. He has traveled the length and breadth of the Russian Empire and all the different strange lands that border on it in the east. And let me see here. Knyaz Vadim here, Zakharovich. This is Count Zakharovich. He may be one of the few men on the planet, Don Esteban, who surpasses even your diverse knowledge of the ways of the occult, and he is an accomplished magician. He also has a utterly villainous companion with him who goes by the name Ilya the Orphan Maker, and I will show you him. He is a vicious Cossack duelist who will intentionally not only kill the men or women that he opposes, he will kill their spouses and everyone in their family other than children, leaving them to come and pursue him at a later point, claiming, if you ask about it, that he wants to be sure he has an interesting old age. This is Ilya the Orphan Maker. Go. Now, before you met up with the crew of the Kestrel, Don Esteban and Ndaye, you have been chasing him all across the Central Europe, down into the Ottoman Empire, and then out across the Mediterranean, and now, strangely, across into these strange shores over the Atlantic Ocean. What you've been pursuing is an artifact that you know as the Arcana of Akkad. It's not quite clear what these things are. It is certain that it is an artifact of power that dates back to the very beginnings of civilization anywhere among humans on the planet. It is a artifact that has transferred hands over time. At some point, there was mystics in the Levant who had it. It turned over into the hands of crusaders, who turned over into the hands of Italian merchants, who turned it over to scholars in the Vatican, who then somehow lost it, and you have been pursuing it ever since. It is one of the earliest artifacts of magic, and as such, it is also one of the most potent. And you do not know what goal he has with these, or why he is coming to the New World with those artifacts. There is nothing you found that speaks to the connection. So you have been seemingly one port behind him all the time. You've come close to encountering him. Ndaye, I believe you have at least one scar that you have both given and received with Ilya, the Orphan Maker, but they have survived and they have made it here. You are sailing into Tortuga for two reasons. One is, with luck, you will catch him here. He has come here to see a legendary scholar. Some call him the trader with a D because he only trades. He is far too wealthy or perhaps just too far above any of those concerns of money and lucre and such. He is coming in. His name is Akamir bin Shir Halal. He is a Jewish scholar who has lived in the New World for seemingly his near entire life, but he seems to know more than almost any other scholar, certainly in the New World and potentially anywhere else in the Old World or the Far East or South. Akamir will only trade for information, so I wish you to think of what your characters have put together to trade for information on Vadim. So you either are going to be able to catch Count Zakharovich here, or find out why he's come here to speak to Akamir. And hopefully he did not kill Akamir. Akamir is far too powerful, you've heard, but who knows what this Arcana of Akkad is capable of. So, our heroes are on the deck, and you are on the deck of the Kestrel and sailing into Tortuga. Now, our session takes place in the year 1675, and if history holds, Tortuga at this point is under the control of the English, having changed hands, or the British technically, changed hands on more than one occasion, back and forth between the Spanish, originally having settled this place. Tortuga is it's kind of like, what Mos Eisley was trying to refer to. It is a hive of scum and villainy, but it also is a phenomenal free port where you, so long as the hand of the authorities are light, it also enables an incredible amount of free flow of cash and information and people and whatnot. So it's a really this is a hopeful place. Tell me what sorts of preparations, if anything, you guys are doing for those two contingencies. If you find him here, I guess the other thing I'll tell you is, that for some reason he has aligned himself not with anyone from Europe. There is a Barbary pirate, a ship run by a guy named Captain Al-Gamari, and his ship is the Heart of Hamza. He has sailed the Heart of Hamza outside of the Mediterranean, which is very, very unusual for a Barbary pirate. For those who don't know what the Barbary pirates are, pirates who are based out of different places along the north of Africa, in Tripoli and in places that will become Libya or Tunisia or whatnot. In later days, he has sailed here. So he's under that. From what you've heard, Captain Al-Gamari also has a fairly bloodthirsty reputation, and his crew is terrifying. So there is a ship full of Barbary pirates. There is a Russian mystic who wants to end the world. There is a Cossack murderer who likes to leave people so they can try and avenge themselves in his old age. And an artifact that dates from the dawn of civilization. Don, Esteban, and Indaye, do you think you would have shared all of that with Captain Hart? And Captain Hart, I suppose, and that related question is, do you think you would have insisted on knowing the full particulars of why they were hiring you on, or were you fine to take their money? If two people want to hire an entire ship, then that's, their prerogative.
The captain answer first, I think.
Yeah, I think the captain, as a captain of the ship, I feel like he likes to explore people and get to know them, so he wouldn't necessarily force them to tell him all their secrets at once. He wants to know, but he doesn't want to read the Cole's notes right at the beginning of meeting someone. He wants to get to know them through experience, and so I think he figures he will find out what they're up to, but money's first. He'll take the money, and then he'll experience life as it comes.
Okay.
So, does the captain know some of Billy's abilities?
Most definitely.
because then he could just trust, like, hey, you don't need to try and pry it out of him, Captain. Billy can find it for you.
Okay. Which was my last question. With if Captain Hart is trusting them at first blush, would Signore Sabato or Billy do anything to try and suss out what these strangers are about?
I think it's going to partly depend on what kind of feeling Billy gets from them. He's pretty quiet, pretty laid back, and he plays the kind of, I don't want to say plays the daughter, but you know what I mean. Like, he's tries to come across as pretty harmless, hoping that people will share, very similar to the captain in some ways, but he's got other means, so he doesn't need to worry. So
yeah,
I guess we'll see who these people are, and I don't know, do you want to role play that out, or?
Let's do one thing. I want to show you Billy's full. Where is he here? Yeah, here we go. So for those who cannot see Billy's or haven't looked at Billy's full illustration, that is what Billy looks like overall. Tentacle arm, blue clawed hands, and all. He is. His monstrous appearance, though, is made up for, as what Dave said, by his very jovial and friendly demeanor. Do I have that right, Dave?
Absolutely.
Okay. And what about Signore Sabato?
Yeah, he would happily have pride over a drink or two, a game of cards, just using his natural charm to chat and sort of find out if there's more valuables involved in this, or what the real reason for traveling is, given that these are quite interesting traveling companions and we don't normally get hired for this sort of thing.
Okay.
But I'm just like chatting. He's not. If he gets the sense that they really don't want to talk about it, he'll back off. But he'll definitely sort of try and pry some information from them.
Okay. So then, Indaye and Don Esteban, what about you guys? What would you have? Would you have told them everything, or if not, what would be the extent of what you would tell them?
I mean, I'll run this past Carl as well first, but I think I would definitely tell him how dangerous these two characters are that we're tracking, just to make them aware of that, and so they can aid us if we do meet them or when we meet them, so that they're not on the back foot and they're prepared for, dealing with the characters. But I don't think he'd give away what we're actually searching for straight away. So the actual artifact, how potentially powerful and valuable it might be, he probably wouldn't give that away. But definitely the characters that are involved, I think, would be important for them to know how dangerous they are and their background.
Yeah, I think I agree with Darren there. And I mean, and Daya would not reveal her secret. I'm sure Don Esteban knows. Yep. But she wouldn't reveal her secret, but would emphasize that these are dangerous men looking for something that can topple society, make it that scary, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So they're very dangerous men that we're looking for. They're looking for something. We don't know what it is, but it could change society as we know it. It's very dangerous.
Does it look like it's troubling either one of them?
Like, what is troubling?
Well, when they're talking about this item, does it look like?
Tell guys what this is. I think you, in the course of the years that you have traveled the world together and the strange adventures, the strange shores that you've been taken to, you've seen some unbelievable things. Things that would not only would like normal folk or regular folk would not believe what they're seeing. I think that you would even rob it of its majesty and its wonder by trying to describe what it is. This is the most dangerous thing that you have ever come across. To give you a context for it, knowing what your relationship is with the church, Don Esteban, they are the ones who let you know that this was taken. They were so desperate that they went to you, one of their most wanted criminals and heretics, and still set you on the hunt for this dangerous mystic. So with that in mind, what would be? What is the like? Do you seem harrowed? Do you seem scared? Perhaps when describing these things.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Scared. I think it's more. Just trying to think of the word. Sort of desperate, almost. But I'm sure there's a better word for it than that. But sort of fanatical and just desperate and driven and all these sort of emotions, rather than sort of scared or nervous or anything like that. It's just he's got to do it. It's got to be done at any means necessary. So it's more that sort of approach or that feeling you probably get from him that
And what about Ndaye?
Ndaye would definitely talk in very serious tones about the ramifications of this. I think she'd be concerned more about Don Esteban and how this is affecting him than her own safety, but definitely definitely communicates the seriousness of their endeavor.
Okay. So does that help, Dave?
Yeah, I think after this conversation, I think Billy's just going to be, while he's performing duties on the ship, he'll just keep an eye out for either one of them who looks, a time when they're significantly troubled, and he might do a little probing.
Okay. And Signori, is there anything further that you pick up, or does that give you any ideas as to what you might want to press on?
Yes, I think Sabato would have one main question at this stage. Tell me, Don Esteban, this Russian ghoul that you're chasing, does he know that you're chasing him? Because Tortuga, rumors spread faster than wildfire. If we arrive and you're both very striking individuals, if he has a ship full of Barbary pirates, he'll know within minutes that you have arrived, unless we do something about this. So does he know you're chasing him?
I'm kind of picturing that Ndaye, your scar you've got in your face there. I believe you have the Orphan Maker to thank for that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think many people will be after him. He travels with this Orphan Maker that's made more than enough enemies that will probably be chasing him, and anyone else that knows that the warlock or however you want to call him, this Russian, whoever knows that he's got this item will be chasing him as well. So I would imagine there's countless people that they're watching over their shoulder for. So we will not be the only ones.
Okay. Sailing into Tortuga, I will tell you a couple other contacts you've got there. I believe that, Don Esteban, you certainly have dealt with Akamir before. And actually, Billy, you are aware of Akamir as well. You dealt with him at one point in the past. In addition to that, there is a tavern there that's simply called the Tortoise. It's a guy named Nicholas Gibbs who runs that. I think he's a Welshman by the spelling of his name too. Let's see, Tortoise. There we go. I don't know if I spelled tortoise right there, but there. You also know that the governor is a British man named Sir Godfrey Hawkins, who has a light touch to running the place. And that's, I think, the extent of it. I'll put Akamir's name in there as well. Let's see here.
Who was Godfrey? Sorry.
Sorry?
Godfrey Hawkins. Who's Godfrey Hawkins?
Governor of Tortuga.
Governor. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the governor of Tortuga requires a bit more of a liberal-minded. Okay, and Ben Shirhadel is his name. There you go. And Akamir Ben Shirhadel is the scholar. We're
not likely to see. Well, I guess there could be. other pirates, like the Barbary pirates? Could we see them in Tortuga?
It's extremely, extremely, extremely unlikely. The Barbary pirates are generally stay in North Africa. Like, that's where their base is. They generally don't have ocean-going vessels either. They'll steal some vessels sometimes, but the more effective vessels that they make use of are tiny little things that can fly out, cause problems for another vessel, and then scavenge it and sell the people into slavery. It's extremely unusual for Barbary pirates to be all the way out here.
Do I think I could identify the Heart of Hamza if I saw it?
In a heartbeat. Yeah, easily.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
And if Captain, do we need to see Tortuga before we're there? You feel like that's a necessary?
I mean,
Billy's got the eye.
First mate Billy's got the evil eye. He can call to spy out Tortuga to make sure it's indeed safe to make birth.
Yes, of course, Billy. Check it out.
Okay. I think Billy will go somewhere where it's not quite so obvious. He's got these two new folks he's not sure about yet.
Okay. The Kestrel is not a huge ship, but I mean, you'll certainly be able to. I think because Dave and I grew up in the same city. You've been to the Nonsuch before?
Yep.
Yeah. The first
Maybe
ship.
he'll just go to the bow of the ship and make sure everybody's behind him.
Okay. That actually makes sense because of your connection with the sea as well.
Yeah.
All right, so the challenge level equals 1 per 5 miles to the target. So how far out do you want to be for this? Maybe 20 miles, do you think? Or like an hour's travel? Or how far?
Yeah, because he wants to know what ships are in berth, basically, before we get there, so that if we have to deviate or... See, 20 miles is probably good.
20 miles, okay. So that will be then let's see here. Challenge level will then be a 4. And a wisdom, I believe, is a primary for you, right? Yeah.
It says evil eye is intelligence, though. Does that make...
I think I listed that incorrectly.
Okay, so these are all wisdom checks?
Wait, does it say intelligence for evil eye? Oh, it is.
It is.
Ooh, boy. So that'll be a 12 for you.
So is it... Yeah, I was going to say, and then that... So, like... it's not the same... It's a different check for each one. So I use charisma, intelligence, or wisdom, depending upon the...
Yeah, so what you're going to do is you're going to make an intelligence check. You're going to be able to add your level to this. Do you have any backgrounds or knowledges that you think would apply here? And you can think of these as quite broad. I really did try and write them more thematically than I did precisely. So, for instance, I think your Traveler to Strange Shores ability, you could take that as a metaphorical thing, and I think I'd let you add +2 to your roll.
Yeah, I was thinking that, or even the shipment, because he just really wants to see what ships are at berth. He's not trying to dig in too deep.
Well, what he's trying to do right now is invoke that ability, right?
Yeah.
Successfully. So that would be a challenge rating. So it's a 22 you're rolling against. You're going to add +2, make an intelligence check for us, and add 2 to the result.
Knowing that it's intelligence, I think he would wait a little further until we were maybe 10 miles out. So
so that'll be a 20 that you're rolling against.
Yeah.
You can even make it 50. If you want it only to be 19, you could, or like a 19 target number, you just wait till you're 5 miles out.
It's not going to be easy. I only have an 8 intelligence and I have a -1 penalty. So, yeah, you know what? Maybe let's do that.
Okay.
There's always a chance, right?
Okay, so why don't you give us an intelligence check? And remember, you can add after the fact. Look at that. What were you worried about? Holy smokes. All right. So
nice.
Tell us what it looks like when Billy invokes the evil eye.
I think he takes a swig of rum, not much, just enough to wet his pucker.
Yep.
And then he starts whistling to himself an old pirate shanty, and just lets himself go into a bit of a trance, and then his eyes kind of glaze over white, and he starts to see things that aren't within normal sight. And it's almost like a bird flying across the water towards the land, and he comes across Tortuga and then just does a quick circle around so he can get an idea of what ships are at berth and then returns, because it's not exactly an easy thing to do.
No, I imagine not. Well, especially with his intelligence not being his necessarily strongest attribute. So let's quickly take a look at what you're seeing at Tortuga. So this sprawling port here is the port of Tortuga. And it looks very much like it did the last time you were here, Billy. There are the remnants of the Spanish settlement, and then the ramshackle kind of sprawling things that have come out from there. What you cannot see in here is the mass of ships that are moored offshore or on the ramshackle wharfs that have been built going out. There's the governor's mansion in here as well. Two things I can tell you that you pick up without having to make a roll. For one, there's no sign of the Heart of Hamza here. You would definitely see that.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, I have one thing that I'm certain that you can classify this one. You do see a change since the last time you were here, because, Billy, the Spanish flag now flies over Tortuga.
Oh, I think he snaps out of it and hits. I don't know. Do you think the captain is like nearby when he's doing this, or?
Probably. He's probably waiting for news.
Yeah. So I think Billy kind of comes to and then spins around and goes, "Captain, the Spaniards have Tortuga."
So that's not necessarily. Would you have Don Esteban or Indaye with you as well? Nearby, or were you doing it on your own?
What do you think?
I think here's what you picked up is that you do know that, without giving any further information, Don Esteban and Indaye would really like to avoid any Spanish ports. The Inquisition and the Catholic Church has some fairly powerful sway with the Spanish, and where goes the Spanish, there goes the Inquisition. And it does seem that the Inquisition has not been informed of the Vatican's willingness to send Don Esteban on this trip. So you had a very near run-in with a guy named Shimon. It's Inquisitor Shimon Gastala.
I think the only thing that Billy was concerned about was that no one else could see his face when this was happening, and that the captain was nearby.
Okay.
If the others were nearby, that's up to them.
Captain, I'm not sure. I mean, you are a privateer, so there may be some issues that the Spanish still have with you, but you're not like actively wanted by them from what you remember. But you are aware that Don Esteban and Indaye were quite intent on avoiding Spanish ports.
Well, then we would definitely go warn them.
Okay.
I have bad news, friends.
Where do you think they find Don Esteban? And Don Esteban, the way that you access your occult library, by the way, is just you put a key into any door, you open it up, and you're able to access your otherworldly things. So you can certainly have a stack of what do you call it? A stack of occultic books that you may be studying to prepare your spells once again.
And when you say a key to a door, does it have to be a door, or could it be a key to a little chest? Or
no, it does need to be a door that you pass
so it's
through to
literally
get there.
A doorway into. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it could be like the door of your cabin. You can put the key into there, turn it, it'll open up, and you have access to your library. You step through and go back. The only restriction is that you need to come out of the same door. So, for instance, if you went into the door, the ship sank, and then you open the door again, you'd be however many fathoms down.
I would probably only do that when I've got, an ally nearby, basically.
Okay. So where would Captain Hart and Billy find Don Esteban and Indaye?
I'm hoping they haven't got any duties on the boat itself. So, in some sort of quarters, just discussing, past escapades and how we're going to deal with these characters when we actually finally catch up with them.
Right.
Discussing scars on cheeks and such, and how we're gonna get one back on them. I would have said.
And in Dae, what do you think you would be doing with your time?
No, I mean, that's what I mean. We're discussing, like what Darren said, we're discussing what we're going to do when we meet him, any sort of tactics, things that we've learned from past confrontations. I think that's what we'd be discussing. What else do we need to know about this artifact? Is it worth doing some more study in the vault, Don Esteban?
What you found, I think, in the course of your studies, what the because of the popularization of tarot, or like what would later become tarot later on in Europe, there is something you found written by a scholar coming back from Acre, who had written about he's the one who gave the name, the Arcana of Akkad, to it. It is, for those listening at home too, I started trying to make sure I understood what contemporary references would be for certain things, like at some point Acadia and Babylonian civilization kind of fell out of history and was rediscovered later on and then given names afterwards. So there's going to be a lot of anachronisms in this things. I don't really care. It was too hard and too much work to try and figure out. I had to look and see what I was like, is the word benthic in use in this time or not? And it turns out it comes from the word benthos, which is a Greek word for the depths. So that is the extent of my work. I don't know if the Akkadians or Akkad is even really thought of, unless it's referenced in the Bible, perhaps. But in any event, so I say this to say that my backstory may make no historical sense whatsoever, but I just don't care. As that's true, I guess I do care, but the limitations of time have restrictions on this. So what they refer to them, the way they describe it, Don Esteban, is it has different strange markings that seem similar to the markings found in far-off Asia. Scratchings, as opposed to some of the more, almost as if they were like loose versions of the Norse runes found by, shamans and god talkers from the Arctic and northern realms. It said have those things on these, but that they were each distinct and represented a full set of things, which is, and they're all made on a strange brownish clay, all like identical size though, and all seeming to have a similar ability of foretelling futures. That was the legendary that this person recorded of. So that's what these things seem to be. You can think of them like almost like cuneiform tablets of a Sumerian equivalent of the tarot. Hence the name, the Arcana of Akkad. What he's specifically doing with some tarot cards in the middle of here, Lord knows. But then you hear a knock at the door, and it seems that Captain Hart and Billy have come down to see you.
Yeah, obviously welcome him in. Please.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry we've come with some bad news.
Already?
Along with those we seek here, we've come to discover that the port is now under Spanish rule.
Yeah.
I know you had said you hope to avoid the Spanish out here.
There's there'd definitely be a sign of disappointment on Don Esteban's face at that. That puts somewhat of a more difficult position on us.
I assume we're still landing?
We still have people to see. We would just have to
be extra cautious.
Yes, we'll have to try and somehow keep out of the limelight. We don't want to get into any more trouble than we're already facing with this.
Well, as far as my memory serves, they're not looking for the Kestrel, so we should be able to at least land and safely get to port.
Well, that's good to know, at least, that we have you backing us up.
So, what, if any, cautions do you guys wish to take to avoid Spanish authorities here? There will be a harbor master who will get you to check in and blah, blah, blah. But there will also, you know, that especially in Tortuga, there are going to be busybody, you know, kind of looky-loos who sit down near the port, wait to see who comes in so they can sell that information to somebody else.
Right. I don't know if anyone has any.
Well, it just so happens that Sabato might know a thing or two about smuggling. And as long as we have some barrels or crates on the ship and our guests don't mind a little bit of discomfort for a short period, I'm sure we could offload some innocuous cargo to get them past the looky-loos and the harbor master, and then, you know, it'll just be like for 10 minutes or so, and then we can let you out of the barrel or the crate. If that is something you're willing to entertain, if not disguises, although that's not something of my forte.
He's not super keen on the idea, but desperate times call for desperate measures. I don't wear any sort of insignia or anything that would give away any sort of family, sort of nothing like that. So I'll just if that's it sounds like a plausible
the only
idea.
Is your cross, this silver cross you use as a spellcasting focus?
It wouldn't give me away as any sort of identity, would it?
No, it would only give you away as you, basically. That would certainly be an easy way for people to describe, you know, what they're looking for.
Yeah. So I'll keep that tucked away under my top.
Okay.
Obviously out of sight, but I won't be getting rid of it or discarding or hiding it too much, because I will need it potentially. But yeah, I mean, if you think that'll work, you've obviously, sounds like you've done this before.
once or twice.
We've smuggled a few things.
Well,
that's why we keep Sabato around. He's quick with the wit and quick with the ideas.
Yeah, well, I certainly won't be judging you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, I kind of thought that's why you hired us.
Exactly.
Hey, I realize I'll do it on the break. I realize I forgot to load one illustration, but I can take care of that during the break. So what? I guess is Ndai okay with going into a barrel or crate?
Yeah, she's fine with it. I mean, if she was even going to suggest, she could transform, and then she could be like smuggled on as a. I don't know. She doesn't like the idea of a cage, though. So probably being in a barrel, you have more control.
Okay.
Than being in a cage.
Okay. Then, what we can do is, I'm just checking to see here. We will need, I think, a kind of like a fast talk type check from Sabato to get past the thing without them being inspected. It will not be. I think it's only going to be a challenge level 2. And do you've got some other abilities as well, but what do you think? Do you have any? Well, you got a smuggling skill. That's quite good.
I've smuggling knowledge. I'm dishonest, so I'm actually better at being deceitful than being diplomatic. I love these traits. They're amazing.
Fantastic.
And I'm notorious scoundrel. I'm just generally quite charming, so I think I guess the smuggling and the dishonest one would be the most.
Okay. So
this is a place we know, right, Kev? Like
Definitely.
the support that we've been. Yeah. So maybe we know sort of the name of someone to drop, even the owner of the tortoise, or someone who sort of has a bit of respect.
Yeah, Mr. Gibbs.
At the port. Yeah, like as far as like, this is a special delivery kind of thing, like, and they would know, you don't want to necessarily mess with that.
Okay.
Sort of name drop, essentially.
Yeah. So I think then, why don't? I think the difficulty is only going to be a 2 here, because this is just a harbor master, and there's no reason for them to suspect you. Although you are English, Captain Hart. I think we need to make that a 3. So
Not long ago. Come on.
let's see. So then, but this will be a charisma, which I think Sabato is prime. Awesome. There's a 13 you're rolling against. You are rolling. You said your knowledge applies as well as either scoundrel or.
We'll go with dishonest, which gives +1 on lying, so it'll be +4.
Okay, so that'll be a total. So you can add. You're gonna have to make sure you're using the charisma check on the skill, but you can change that in the drop-down menu for the background skill or the knowledge skill rather.
It's knowledge smuggling, yeah. Let's see, yeah.
Oh, although you know what, the thing is, it doesn't. The character sheets are extremely primitive, so it won't update automatically. So let's make sure that the modifier listed there is equal to your charisma, which I think is a +2, and then add another +1 on top of that to it. And then whenever you are ready, go ahead and give us a roll.
Oh yeah.
Here's another neat thing about Amazing Adventures, and this predates Pathfinder 2. One of the ways you can play the game is by interpreting if you get 5 over a target number as being kind of like an extra success, which isn't in C&C. So, why don't you tell us how this incredibly successful attempt plays out, David?
I think it'll almost, for anyone looking on, it'll be incredibly boring. He'll have picked crates that look just the right amount of, it's probably, or like a barrel, there's some ale. We've had these come through every day of the week, and then he'll just fast talk and just do chit chat with, probably playing on the whole, depending on who the harbor masters are, like, oh, I see you've changed decorations again, pointing at the Spanish flag, and just draw him into a discussion about if he's new to Tortuga or if he's now has new employers, and then just sort of waves the barrels past.
One thing you can assume too is that when in your plans or whatever else, guys, you have a full crew of like 40 other men, men and women, right. I suppose. So you can feel free to draw on that as well. I mean, these are nameless folks who have like 4 or 5 hit points. So if you incorporate them into your violence, they may be dropping quite quickly. They're not super good at combat, but the people you'll be facing are often of that. Like for the nameless grunts, they're going to be a similar, durability. So, it could be like you've got your, crew members that are just lower deck members who are kind of unloading this shit for you while you distract the guy. And I think he's an old Spanish guy who kind of like has carried over between the different administrations, and because he doesn't really care and he just really enjoys he's one of those, I think unctuous is the word I'm looking for. He sort of just enjoys the trappings of power. Now I said I think I may be using that word wrong, but he just really enjoys the power of this stuff, and he enjoys lording it over the small amount of people he sees and whatnot. And it really says a lot when it's someone who in a completely kind of Wild West-ish port who tries to bring some sort of order to make sure you're paying your taxes and whatnot. He is utterly charmed by you, though. So he is completely, and perhaps I believe Sabato speaks Spanish, doesn't he? Yes. So you're conversing with him in that. Don Esteban, you can hear this guy. I think the gift of gab is a saying that comes later in history, but like, holy shit, this may be the person who gave birth to it. Because you can't believe how well this guy has got this harbor master, wrapped around his finger. What about Billy and Captain Hart? What are you guys doing while Sabato is smuggling your colleagues on?
Probably trying to sort of keep a low key because, like you said, I'm English, and I don't want to make myself obvious, So
deploy slouch hat.
Yeah, exactly. Tip of the hat down.
Billy, you definitely do stand out. But what are you doing? Do you go on board, or do you? There is, like one of the way I'm picturing for this world is that there are supernatural things, and it would be the people living on kind of, living in these more remote locations where they would know the realities of the world. So just because you got a tentacle for an arm, no one would think anything of it. If you told someone back in London that was the case, they would think you're telling a tall tale, but, what do they know?
Yeah, I think while if this is going on specifically, I think Billy is just doing work with the crew and making sure everything's tied down and in place and, just normal day to day, but he'll periodically peek over to see how well Sabato's doing with the harbor master. And when he thinks that things are, in place and we can move about as normal, then he'll give the captain an okay.
Oh, and Nicholas Gibbs at the Tortoise has a 5 fathoms rum that he really only brings up for certain special people. And Billy.
And it's calling my name.
Okay.
Literally calling my name.
So with the bullshitting done, you're able to make your way past the harbor master. You guys make your way into Tortuga proper. It's like you see in the illustration here. It's just a ramshackle. Some of them are, more the white daubed houses that were originally built by the Spanish settlers. There's some very impressive looking churches and other civic structures in here, but it's also a lot of effect. We would think of them as slums. It's only forgiven because of the tropical conditions here that it's seen as oh, it's my hut. It's like, yeah, it's a fucking lean-to you built in the middle of town, man. This is not... So this place is sketchy. Where would you like to release Don Esteban and Ndaye from their hiding places?
Do we know the Tortoise well? Is Nicholas an ally? Or
All the crew members
trusted?
Of the... I think... So, unless things have changed, Nicholas can be trusted at the Tortoise. He is definitely on the side of the pirates, and he does have he's got a soft spot for Captain Hart as well. I'm not so sure about, but Captain Hart most definitely.
Yeah, so maybe even there.
Yeah.
As long as it's not too far of a journey from the dock.
Delivery for the Tortoise.
It would go with our lie, too.
Yeah.
Did I mention that
it would be timely because I want to go for some rum?
Nicholas has 2 daughters and 3 sons. That is the reason why Sabato is not well thought of in here. So I think
everybody with daughters.
As you are making your way in, the doors open, and it's what you would picture from a pirate bar. You can is precisely how you could picture the Tortoise. It's very raucous. It's a little more subdued now, which speaks to maybe kind of the changeover of the guard. As soon as there's a changeover from English to Spanish, a bunch of people who don't want to be around the Spanish are gone. So but when you walk in, you hear, "Hart, is that you?"
It is, old friend.
And he walks up from behind the bar. He's kind of a heavy-set guy. He's got a mustache. He's bald, except for a tiny little scrap, like a little thin patch of hair at the back that he still clings to the back of his head. He walks over. Billy, did you come ashore? Or did you stay on the Kestrel?
Billy's definitely coming ashore because there's rum to be had, and maybe not too much, but just enough.
Okay. So you see, he sees you, Billy. Yo, De Placido. He looks down.
Delivery.
Yeah, he looks down at the 2 crates. What's this a bribe?
It's a gift that you should open in private.
He looks at the lot of you. Well, let's go in the back then. Leads you into the back.
Appreciate it.
And
Billy gives one of them a kick.
Yeah. Have you seen then? So the either Don Esteban or Ndaye, something kicks the outside of your crate. He says, "You seen the change then? New management, hey?
Let's see.
Have you heard of him? Nicolau de Fonseca." And you can give us a if anyone's got any skill or background that they feel relates to either like knowledge of the Caribbean or the Spanish authorities here, you can go ahead and give us a check. It's probably an intelligence check.
I mean, I have knowledge of two things that could work, but I think politics of the port would make sense.
And remember that your knowledge, your knowledge, skill, and your background can stack where they overlap. It's just you can't apply two backgrounds.
Right. Okay. Well, my roll's awesome anyway, so.
Yeah. So you have who the hell wrote that? Poetics. I'm writing phonetically now.
Poetics.
It's poetics. I'll be poet. What is that as far as Spanish governors go, from the perspective of pirates, De Fonseca is actually one of the better ones. He still is, like, he'll hang pirates and that kind of stuff, but he's not as virulently anti-English or anti-British as what some of the others have been. One of the problems with Tortuga, when it has changed over sometimes, is that you drive all the others out. So that's what you would know of De Fonseca.
Well, he's not as bad as he could be, so we'll take him.
Oh, he's been right fine so far. Not bad. No. I suspect it ain't rum I'm going to find in these barrels.
No, unfortunately not, friend.
How long ago has it been? Have you had time to grease the wheels?
Oh, we got something special for you, Billy. One of the things the new governor cares for is his own kind of drinks. So we have a very pathetic howl there. We have all kinds of Malbecs and such for you. So, but what's in the crates then? We can assume you guys have made your way into the back.
Yeah, we'll pop them open.
Come. I don't remember ordering you, he says to you, Don Esteban and Ndaye.
Yeah, so crawl out, sort of dust myself down, look around. Thank you, gentlemen. He's ever polite.
Who is it wants you then?
I don't think the new management, as you call them, will be quite as keen to see us in port, so we thought we'd take precautions.
Ah, you're not a heretic, are you? He gestures at the thing. He's trying to suss out why it is that you'd be wanted.
Yeah, I don't know if...
You know what?
Yeah, because
it's going to be more trouble for me to learn, I think. That's really above my grade.
Best you don't know.
Well, what brings you in then? You just bringing these in?
No, Ndaya will say, no, we're looking for some Barbary pirates. And I kind of give the name of the ship. We did not see the ship in port, but maybe they...
the Heart of Hamsa.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny you say that. There's not many that we know. I can't think of a time we've seen Barbary pirates in here. We figured they got lost on the ocean, washed up in here. But funny you say that. Was a big black ship what come in. A whole bunch of them Mamluks all came off. And under the control of a Russian man and the palest, meanest son of a bitch I've seen. A redhead. He seemed eager to fight. No one took him up on it, but he seemed a master of that saber. They came. He looks over at you guys. Are you here to speak to the scholar, the trader?
I was hoping to speak to Arcana, is it?
Oh,
Arcana?
that's him. Well, he's the one that the Russian went to. These was only in a few hours before they left. They're so quick they left one of their own behind. He's cold as eels in the governor's prison now.
How long ago did they leave?
1 week or so.
Behind again.
Well, even they had a destination that they was going to. That leftover I may know, though from what I hear, he's half mad, even for a Mamluk.
Seems we have a few people to speak to.
What's your business? Your business is with him?
Well, we have some unfinished business with them, and they carry something that is not theirs by rights that we would like to obtain from them.
Well, hope you know what you're doing with Arcana. He he could be a complicated fellow.
I think we can handle him.
Well, then, let me know if I can be of help. Billy.
You still like cola beans? I heard you like cola beans.
Coloring? What?
I heard you like cola beans. We got a crate full of cola beans to bring them.
Great. We'll take them. So with you guys now out here, what are you planning on doing? It seems that you did, unfortunately, that the Russian has slipped through your hands once again, and the heart of Hamza has left, but it does seem like it was here.
You have any interest in speaking to their man that the governor's got?
That's never happened before, Don Esteban.
What, that you've left someone behind?
Yep. I think both yourself and Ndaye have left some of their bodies behind, but you're not aware of anyone living that they have ever left behind. Certainly not by accident. And having chased this mystic from, the ports of Hong Kong through to here, across half the planet, there is nothing that this Russian seems to do by accident.
Oh.
Wonder if he's a spy. He's left here to, guide us astray, or
or he betrayed them,
or signal our return. Let them know how far behind we are.
It's going to be hard.
Nicholas, do you know why he was arrested and now is a guest of the governor?
Barking mad on the street, from what I hear. Gibbering away. So you wouldn't think an Arab would be speaking German. It's only Acamir what recognize the language. None of us speak it.
Interesting.
I speak German. I could speak to them, but whether the governor would allow us or allow me to speak to him would be another matter.
Oh, we could give it a try. Maybe we can. Some of our crew's been in the, found their way into the governor's, not this governor's prison, but in the prison in the past. Perhaps we could find another way, unofficial way in.
I think that definitely could be, and a couple of coins in the right palms, or a couple of doubloons, I suppose, in the right palms, would certainly open doors. Tortuga is a very commerce-friendly location.
Yes.
Well, both would be useful to speak to if we get the chance.
Let's get a man out of prison then.
Yeah. Well, we could. Well, Don Esteban and Daya could go maybe talk to the scholar. And you guys want to break him out or visit?
Well, we just need to talk to him. We just maybe some doubloons in the right pockets will grant us a brief audience.
I think Billy,
Anna agreed.
Anna definitely thinks it's a good idea. I think it just said to remind you too. I think that your evil eye can be used to look into there too.
Oh.
Yeah. I was thinking even if we could just get there and talk to him, even if he's not making a whole lot of sense, I could try to read his mind.
Yeah. For the crew of the Kestrel, do any of you guys speak German? I don't remember.
Our
Mostly Romance languages.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
It's not one of my love languages, sorry.
Then there would be actually before that. What about the crew of the Kestrel? Does anyone speak Arabic?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, well.
So Sabato, if this guy does speak, if he is a Barbary pirate, Arabic, he should at least understand some. And actually, in Daya, there's an outside chance.
Well, she speaks Wolof. He might maybe.
Yeah, like it would be like it's. I don't think it's a direct cognate, but you may be able to make yourself understood by this person as well. Although if he's gibbering in German, it seems like Don Esteban may be the only one who really would be able to understand that, absent any kind of magic or psychic ability. But what do you guys think? So you have that scholar and you have this guy in prison. What would you guys like to do first?
Do we want to talk to the scholar first, in case he reveals us
See what he knows,
information, and then speak to the Russians' henchmen?
Yeah. I mean, he heard him speaking as well, didn't he? So he may even have some information on what this crew member has on those.
I say we talk to the scholar first.
Always start with the safer option.
Is it safer?
I don't know what you're talking about.
And the less costly option. Although we do need to have something in trade, is that not correct?
You would have known this coming to see the trader. That's
actually why I mentioned the cola beans. I'm not sure if that's actually true or not. But
that may not be something. Ben Sherhadel is someone who trades in the occult, the esoteric, and the unnatural. He is not. When he says trader, he means in information about the unknown.
Okay, so that's not my expertise. I'll have to pass that over to someone else.
I mean, you have traveled quite wide and seen. Again, Billy has drowned in all 7 seas.
Shh. That's not supposed to be common knowledge.
So then, and I'm fine for today's session. We'll just, if we need to really retroactively change stuff or flashback or whatnot, we can absolutely do that.
Right.
So it sounds like everyone is going to see Ben Shirhadal.
I don't think we should leave our guests alone. If the Spanish authorities could potentially be after them, they may need our assistance.
Okay.
Indeed. They are our employers, after all.
Did you say any of us have met this guy before?
You have.
Yeah, I have. Okay.
So you would have, and again,
was
like,
it a good relationship?
As good as it can be. This guy is utterly and thoroughly self-interested.
Okay.
He is, and he is also like an unmatched source of there's maybe 3 or 2 other people you can think of across the rest of the globe that may be as educated and tapped into the supernatural kind of networks, that this individual is. So to have this person here, for one, there's got to be a reason why the Russian came here, and 2, there's got to be a thing he wanted to trade for. Which could it be that he traded the Arcana of Akkad here?
Seems unlikely, but you never know.
No, it's definitely the type of thing that Ben Shirhadal
Definitely
would
be interested in it. Yeah.
Okay. So you approach, and this Shirhadal's place is one of the old, like, not a mansion per se, but like it's closer to like what a villa would be. It's very modest, only like one house with a small little side garden, but it's much nicer than the ramshackle places that are closer to the port, and they're frequented by sailors and traders and whatnot. When you knock on the door, there's a bit of a pause, and then a man comes and answers who looks like this. This is Akamir Ben Shirhadal. And he answers, he has a thick Spanish accent, actually. And he says and actually, now that I don't think I'm going to do a Spanish accent for him, because I'm really worried it's going to go into a caricatured accent, so I will not be using an accent for him. What he answers, so you answer the door, and he kind of looks you over. Esteban.
Akamir, nice to see you again.
And you, to come so far. And in Daye.
She nods.
You bring friends. William. I know that one. I'm not sure, Captain, you've heard anyone call him William. He's Billy.
And I think Billy looks over to the captain and it's like, don't you ever try that either.
Come in, come. My home is your home.
Thank you. Step inside.
Appreciate it.
I am not wholly unsurprised to see you. You know, I saw one of your friends recently.
Week ago.
That's what we're here for.
He said you might come. Let me be plain. He came, we traded, he left. I gave him what he sought. As you know, privacy is a valued part of my transactions. But something curious happened. Something I've not had occur at any other point. The Russian told me to tell you where he's going. He is bound for Bermeja. And anyone who's got any kind of pirate stuff or any kind of knowledge about sailing or whatnot, go ahead and give us a check, guys. Add in whatever knowledges and stuff you've got. This isn't something in... And that is Bermeja. Something in the Caribbean. Okay.
Well, that's a terrible roll.
You could spend a fate point and add 1d8 to it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Seeing as we're getting through the session and got lots of points.
Mm-hmm. Come on, big money.
Roll. Come on. 8. Oh, yeah.
Nice. 21. So then, and Billy, because your intelligence is kind of low. So the 18 would make it a little more difficult for you, Billy. But Billy, if you want to spend a fate point as well, you can give a 1d8, roll and add it to it.
I think Billy's like scrambling, scratching his head. It's like, if this was a weird place, I'd probably remember it.
It is a particularly weird place. You see, the island of Bermeja is an island that has vanished. The Spanish charted this place, not huge, it's not like, one of the larger islands in here, but large enough to merit some kind of marking, a mile or two long. It appeared on, the curious thing is when, in the late 15th century, when Europeans first came here, it was something that was documented, and then vanished. There were said to be a people on Bermeja. There were said to be structures on Bermeja. And now it is gone. It has been for almost 200 years.
Very strange.
So he's basically telling you he's going to, a place that doesn't exist.
Right.
So Captain Hart, you're the one who would know that.
And how are they supposed to get somewhere that doesn't exist?
Oh. Someone knows then.
I've heard tale.
We traded for a way for him to access Bermeja. There are keys to enter, and he now has them.
Interesting.
Indeed.
We need to make such a trade.
I gave him the keys, the ways in to Bermeja. He, with those, can throw the doors open and enter. Or at least the front way.
Always a back entrance.
There are those who know of the back entrance. Yes. And he walks over to it, and you can picture his the study that you guys are talking. It's full of just all sorts of bizarre, accoutrements and whatnot. There's things in jars. There's things from all over the world that are gewgaws and whatnot, ratcheting. Every single thing would have some kind of crazy backstory to it. There's books on there, scrolls that are in papyrus and vellum and whatnot. Like it is the archetypical, scholar, long-lived scholar and well-traveled. He goes over and he grabs what looks to be a conch shell, and he pulls it over. And as he touches it, Billy, it's like a octopus just moved around in your gut.
Ooh.
He looks over directly at you, Billy. There are those who know every way in from the deeps. Billy, you don't like where this is going. He brings it over and places it down before Don Esteban. This... And he holds it up, and what you can see is inside, instead of just a regular conch shell, it's opened up a little bit, and there's some kind of bizarre, very primitive type device that's been set up in there. And if you pull, there's like a little mechanism to turn it to add some tension, and you let it go, and then two little paddles kind of run on it.
I think Billy's tentacle whips out in front of the captain, and he gives him a look don't touch it.
William, you know this is the way.
Surely there's another way.
There is two ways. If there is another way into Bermeja, it will only be the Dukes of Benthos who know this. And Billy has met the Dukes of Benthos. They are very alien. They are very dangerous. But they are also quite powerful. Billy has his transformation to thank the Dukes of Benthos for.
That's not the route that I would choose.
Yeah, that doesn't sound promising.
So he moves it forward, or you give up your pursuit.
Can't do that. So what would you like in trade? That's how this works,
William, I don't ask. You tell me what you will trade.
We need something suitable, or this doesn't leave here. and we don't have a way to follow the Russian.
Don Esteban, I assume you came prepared for this?
We're all looking at you.
Sabato will look over.
And I am fine. You guys absolutely would have prepared for the traitor. So if you guys have some neat idea of some bizarre, artifact or hidden tome or something like that, something that just would really capture his interest, I'll assume that you guys have it. Just tell us what cool thing that is.
Like just make up some kind of...
Yeah, make it up. I don't fucking care. This is your opportunity to make up some fun, ancient artifact. And it doesn't even have to be particularly like this. You don't need to think of it in like a D&D terms of like it's a powerful weapon or whatnot. It could be anything bizarre or esoteric or oblique in meaning.
Yeah. Okay. Have you got any ideas, Carl?
We could give. Maybe my father told me this. The true identity of the man in the iron mask.
Okay. What if it's the skull of the man in the iron mask?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Speaking of a skull,
so you kind of place this thing down, and Bin Shahadel kind of looks at it like, and then you open it up, and there's a skull inside this thing. And I think this is the first that Billy, Captain Hart, and Sabato are seeing this.
Yeah.
Like, what the...
Carl, do you think you had it wrapped up in your musketeer's tabard?
Maybe I did have it wrapped up in the my father's tabard.
So this isn't a big fucking deal for her to be giving this up. You would know this, Don Esteban. This is not just like we found this thing.
I'm not giving up the tabard.
Not the tabard, the skull, I mean.
The skull, yeah.
So what you guys can see is that as it unfolds, there is a blue tabard with a white fleur-de-lis, quite discolored and whatnot in here, that you have not seen before. And he lays this out, and his eyes sparkle. Yes. Yes. I believe we have a deal then. And he hungrily kind of, moves his hands forward and picks up this thing. Who is taking the conch?
I mean, he kind of feel like he offered it to Billy, right? I mean...
none of you are cursed yet. Might as well be me to carry it.
William will know when to drop it. Sail deep. The more likely they are to respond and fast, and I would hurry. It will not take long for the Russian to reach Bermeja.
Do you know anything of the one he left behind? He's never done that before.
Yes. This is such a grand gift. I offer you this too. And he walks over with great flourish to his desk, pulls one of the drawers out, roots in there, and then pulls out a single piece of paper with handwriting on it. He says, this is what he said. And he double checks it in English. Then he hands it over to you, or hands it out towards you, Billy, or Don, or whoever wants to take it.
I just look it over to somebody else like, I already got something, I don't want to get it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it if he's looking over.
Here is what is written on it. I am the bridge, anointed by the crown, the vril, and the dragon, and Hyperborea flows through me. I am what is, I am what was, what is, and what is to come. I am all. He gestures after you read it over and kind of, or perhaps even read it out loud for everyone. He shakes his head. He says, he keeps saying it in German of all languages. I would be surprised if he spoke a single other word. But those he cherishes.
Mean anything to you guys?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Does that mean anything to him?
Sounds like a more obscure Bible passage to Sabato, and he's never been much for following the good book.
I'm the bridge.
I wonder if he means that literally.
So we need to bust this guy. That's what the guy in the prison keeps repeating?
Well, if he's telling us where they're going, perhaps he's given us a way to get in as well,
or maybe he's here to distract us from our main goal and hope that all of us end up in prison by going to see him.
Anyone who has a background with that or any kind of skill that would deal with the occult, the Vril is something you might know. And anyone who has like occultic or historian or like educated, background, you might know what Hyperborea refers to.
Yeah, well, I have knowledge of occult secrets, but my intelligence.
Yeah, that's definitely so. Either of those. Why don't you give us a check with that? And probably intelligence, I think.
Yeah, not a very good chance since that's tertiary and I have a -1.
Oh, okay.
Hey, you know what you know. You know what you know. See? Look at that.
17. Oh, wow. Okay.
So what Ndaye knows is that Hyperborea is, of course, like it's a reference. It's an old Greek reference to the land beyond the north wind. It's kind of it's sometimes conflated with the belief of Atlantis. It's said to be a mystical land far to the north. Contemporary scholars might think that it refers to like Britain, but that's what Hyperborea is. The Vril is a very obscure reference that really only shows up in extremely esoteric Islamic writings that refers to some kind of it's like in some cases it refers to will, in some cases it refers to energy, although that's not really a concept in this day and age. It's like a power, almost like a spirit, and it's said to be ancient and primordial. Now, from your understanding, it's only referenced in Islamic texts, so it could just be an Islamic idea of of certain kinds of magics. There are other like Heka or mana or things like that people believe drives power. But what the Vril and the Hyperborea have to do with one another, or the crown or the dragon, that makes no sense. Nor does it make any sense why they would be this, North African man would be speaking German.
Huh.
So, what do you guys wish to do? Anything further for the trader?
I would like to just ask him, did the Russian speak anything of the Arcana of a card?
He looks. Why do you bring that up?
Because it's rumored that he has stolen it.
Now, you can't tell whether the look on his face is greed or terror or both. He says that I thought that a myth. The Arcana is real.
Very much so.
I say this to you because you will know. Words. There is power in words. And the fixing of those grants more power. think what power would be in the first words. A fixed and granted power. I thought such things a myth. It would be as capturing God's word and having it in your hand. The Russian, you think, has these?
And he just solemnly sort of nods.
Well, my appetite is gone. If there is nothing further, I would. This day has been long. And he seems to, what he treasured a moment ago with that thing, he just kind of plunks the mask and the skull down as if it's, you know, just a something that was weighing him down.
Sing fancy now.
Nothing further. He turns. If the Russian has this, and he travels to Bermeja, every tick of the clock draws closer to doomsday. You have no time. No time at all to waste.
You heard the man. Let's make a move.
Yep. Thank you for your time.
I don't know if we have time to barrel them back up, Captain. We might just need to hustle.
Yeah. I think we should set sail immediately.
Okay. So, turning and making your way down towards the... Tell me what's going through everyone's mind. Tell us what's going through everyone's mind as you guys are leaving this thing. In the hot sun, you would think you would feel comfortable and whatnot, but I think that every time you pass one of those shadows, it feels colder than it has before.
I think for Signore Sabato, the main thing is he's all a little bit above his pay grade in all of these obscure occult things. His main takeaway is it's really bad news, and we're not staying for one night in Tortuga. Like, what's the point of visiting Tortuga if you're not staying and having a good time? So he's like, all the people he was going to look up and old friends he was going to meet up with, he's like, well, we're leaving immediately. But then obviously realizes the seriousness of the situation as he sees everyone else is so very somber and clearly shook up by what just transpired. He's like, but his main thing is like, what, we're leaving? Just got here.
Well, and I think the captain didn't know what was going on and sort of until he seen the reaction of the trader. Is that what?
Yeah.
So now he's like, you know, oh, this is why you didn't tell us, you know, like, and go around telling people that it's like doomsday. So yeah, if we have any chance of stopping this, we got to go. I'm with you. It would be nice to just stay here and drink this information away, but I fear we may be all that stands in the way of doom.
So, Billy, I think it has been years since you have even thought of the Dukes of Benthos. Hearing the stakes that the captain and the others are talking about now, how does Billy feel now that the importance of speaking to them again gets bigger?
This is more than chasing a Russian mystic. across the seas. This is like, I don't know if the others even understand the scope of the powers that are in play here. And if they do, it's more than likely they think they know, but they really don't know. And I think Billy's actually a little scared, and he doesn't want to show it. So he makes some joke to Sabato about not getting enough rum from. He should have bought a bottle while he was at the Tortoise, and why the hell are we not staying? And he looks at Don Esteban, and he's gonna, I don't know, whispers of the mind. So after Darren talks, Darren can tell us what's on the surface, and then we're gonna dig a little deeper.
Okay. So Don Esteban in Daye.
Yeah, I mean, Don, he would have known it was serious because the church had got him involved, as we said before. But even he didn't really understand quite how serious it was. He knew it was bad. But now that he's heard it from the man that he sort of looks up to, with regards to like magic, occult, and all that, and he sees him as the man of knowledge. That's put the fear of God into him, literally. And yeah, he's now sort of, it's really hit him hard, and you'd have sort of almost seen the colour of his face change. You know, where it's really kicking in, and he's not outwardly panicking, but yeah, if Billy has got any sort of insight into inside, he's really concerned, really panicking, and he thinks, am I up to the job? You know, and have I got the people with the skills to deal with this guy?
So why don't let's hear. Billy, give us a wisdom check, or one of your skills. I think you can. Oh, it's a wisdom check. Yeah, so give us a wisdom check, and then a wisdom save from Don Esteban. 24.
Wisdom save. Where is wisdom save? A wisdom check, and I got the save.
And wisdom is your primary, right, Billy?
No, it's
no, for Billy it is prime. Yeah, it's just prime. So
for Billy, sorry.
Yeah, so one of the things you can do in they introduce the idea of degrees of success in Amazing Adventures. So like we take what your target number was, which would have been 10 plus his level, which I think is 5. So that's 15. So your degree of success is 9 with the wisdom check.
If I just roll the wisdom check.
You just click on wisdom check.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense. And then what wisdom is for Don Esteban?
It's a secondary.
Secondary. Okay, so that's like a degree of success of 3. No, because it would be 14 plus Billy's level 19. That's even a fail. So Billy, I think you can feel the wave of fear coming from the heart of Don Esteban.
I think.
Do I know that he's reading me? Did you say?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
Yeah, you failed your save. And what about Ndaye? What's she feeling about what she's heard and what she's had to give up for it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess she's like, in a way, I told you so. I told you guys this was serious, and now it's confirmation. But yeah, definitely concerned about Don Esteban because he's got a lot on his plate. Thinking about her father and the secrets that she's had to give up. How many more secrets will she have to give up about herself as well before this is over?
So, as you guys get down to the
I think.
Oh, sorry.
Billy's gonna shamble up next to Don Esteban as they're walking, and it'll be the blue hand, not the tentacle, that pats him on the shoulder, because most people don't handle the tentacle well.
Yeah. Even that'll probably make him jump a bit because he's sort of lost in his thoughts. It's like, geez.
Yeah, but it's a calming, like, it's a steady hand on the shoulder, and he's like, "We all understand now, lad. We'll get through this together. You're with us now."
Yeah, I mean, he gives a reassuring nod, but still heavily in his thoughts.
Okay. You guys make your way down to the Kestrel. You head on, and as you are, you very quickly, the crew, they're used to having to leave ports quickly, Captain. I'm not sure what that says about you, but they turn, and as you guys are heading out, basically, as you guys are sailing out of sight, what you would see sailing into the harbor is another Spanish galleon, and at the head of it,
Create.
where is it? Yes. Standing on the prow. Is Inquisitor Shimon de Gastala.
This is not a ship that I know.
That you guys are leaving as this thing comes in, so you guys just narrowly missed the Inquisition hot on Don Esteban's heels. Standing next to him, incidentally, would have been Killian Power, who is his wrong button, is his kind of attack dog, because every good pulp villain needs to have a good pulp sidekick, right?
Hell yeah.
The crazy lieutenant?
This is a fanatically Catholic Irishman named Killian Power. If you think the Spanish Inquisition can be a force to be feared, you've seen nothing of the Irish. But fortunately, you were sailing out to sea as they go in. So, Captain, what course do you set here? The trader said that Billy would know.
Yeah, Billy. What's the heading?
You can see off the shore, there is a rumbling of blackened clouds. There is a storm coming in.
Billy pulls out that conch and I guess he has to twirl it around a little bit to kind of wind it up.
Yep.
So he's got the conch in his tentacle. It's got it wrapped good and firm. Takes a deep breath and then it starts a little drumming inside.
Yep.
And he's not sure how to use it. Is it so you have to hold it up?
You can feel as you look at the as it's thumping away, you can feel once again there's that writhing as if there are tentacles in your guts. And it gets stronger as you look towards the eye of the storm.
So then he's just going to double check and he pulls it away from the storm.
You know precisely where you need to go.
And he looks right at the storm. He's like, Captain, you're not going to like this. We're like, it's a mid-session break, and we're going to go straight into the eye of the storm.
And with that, our heroes turn. The Kestrel turns and heads directly towards the blackened skies in the middle of the ocean. So we will take our mid-session break now, and then we will be back in 5 minutes, and we will see what happens to our heroes next. So back momentarily.
Dang.
Hey, Darren. Way back in the day, we talked about a dice bag.
Oh, yeah.
Black and-
You remember the colors?
Uh-huh. Now, I've also just made for somebody. Oh, it's hard to see in this. It's got like a chevron, blue chevron on the orange.
Oh, that's cool.
I could do a black and red with the chevron. Oh, I don't know. I gotta ask Darren what he wants.
That's looking good. Looking good. Okay, are we all back now? I mean, Carl, are you back? That's the only one I can't see. Do not see. Okay. Give him a minute here. I'll see. Oh. Oops. All right. Oh, you know what I'll do? Hold up. I gotta quickly load something here too. Da-da. Yep. While we're waiting. Then I forgot to load this. There we go. Alrighty. Well, unsurprisingly, you guys have done a fantastic job of bringing these pre-gens to life.
I think that the trades and the background bits make it quite easy. They're quite evocative.
Definitely helps, yeah.
I think. Well, I mean, I think those are only starting points for you guys. I do really love the way that the traits and the backgrounds and the knowledge skills all sort of interact with the game. It's really, really interesting. I really love how you can customize the degree to which you can customize your class as well too. It's very, very cool because you can swap out different abilities. So if like certain things don't make sense for the character, you can drop them out. There's one ability in particular that I think it's pirates have that. I was like, it doesn't really make sense for any of the characters who have pirate levels in this, but it was easy to swap it out, like totally painless. And actually, while we're waiting here, I will take one other thing out. I'm looking forward to seeing what the new edition is going to be like as well, because that comes out sometime this year. Because they're consolidating everything into like one or I think it's 3 books. Let's see.
Kev, is there another draw coming up?
Another
raffle?
Yeah, in end of June.
Okay, so blue and gold for the raffle.
Fucking nice one. Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, Dave. Very, very cool.
Take this out.
Okay. Are we all back? Carl, are you back now? Oh, yes, okay. Got it.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, thanks. All right, so then, guys, our scene opens with a crash of lightning as we see the Kestrel up and down on this massive wave. Tell us where all of you guys... Let me see. Do I have one that is just nasty weather? I do, but it actually will spoil something. So let's just go back to this for now. So unfortunately, you've left these sunny shores far behind right now. Where is everyone as you're moving effectively in towards the worst part of a summer or some kind of winter storm?
Well, I think that the captain maybe doesn't normally man the helm, but heading into a storm, he most certainly does.
Okay. So that like a wave of water crashes near him. He's just soaked to the bone with the rain that's coming seemingly sideways. Dave, you were going to say?
Yeah, and I'm going to say Billy's not far because he's got to give the captain headings in case it changes. But he's probably shouting at people and giving them instructions and tie that rain down and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So, what about Sabato?
I think he might be in the rigging. He's quite dexterous and sure-footed, so he'll be in the rigging helping with trying to listen out to what Billy is saying and then making sure that it's also followed through.
I think you definitely might help. Between the two of you, you definitely would help to keep the spirits up in the crew. It's a tough lot that are the crew of the Kestrel, but, you know, with the two of you, it definitely would assist with managing that. What about Don Esteban and Ndaye? How are you guys feeling about this fucking awful weather you're turning into?
Well, Don Esteban is probably not the wisest move, but he's gone into the cabin, got the key out, and he's gone into the library, and he's reading anything and everything he can try and find out about this mysterious hidden place, Hyboria, anything that he can like find out, and he's hoping that it might actually be like I don't know, does it sort of remove him from the weather situation, or does
100%? Yeah, no, you're just. Yeah. It's think of it like imagine
another
the
dimension.
Stillest library you could possibly be in. Everything smells of old books and papyrus and whatnot. It's marbled floors that you step across, the kind of thing that, like, you know, late medieval, early Renaissance. You know, Catholic Church would design as a library. This is the opulent and, you know, ridiculous place that you have stolen the keys to.
Yeah. So he's using that as this, you know, it's also an excuse to get out of the bad weather and the travel sickness or the bad sea legs and stuff. So he's using it for both of those purposes. And after Billy's little chat with him or reassurance, he feels that, you know, he's in the best place he can be at the moment in this pretty desperate situation. So he's relying on them to, you know, keep the boat afloat while he's in this other sort of dimension almost.
So what about Ndaye?
Ndaye is probably guarding the door that Don Esteban went through.
Okay, yeah.
So she's unfortunately, like, you know, having to withstand all the elements while
yeah. You've been in worse storms too.
Don Esteban is like probably, you know, with his pipe there smoking while reading, you know, in the library on a plush chair. That's how she imagines it anyway.
I've never described it like that, but it's probably very true.
All right. So Billy, you know, you're not quite there yet. And I think there's probably more than a few moments where it's probably hard to hear one another over the sound of the thunder and the waves and whatnot, where Captain Hart will look back at you and you'll kind of have your eyes fixed on the conch in your tentacle and just look up at him and shake your head like, we're not there yet. So Captain Hart, you turn back and again, up one more thing. It's around then when who has a better wisdom as far as like the bonuses and it being prime or not, Captain Hart or Billy?
Wisdom. I'm a 13, but it is primary.
And Billy, I think it's prime for Billy as well. Yeah, it's prime for Billy as well. So, and +2.
Okay.
Although your attention was on the thing. Let's see, Captain. Here we go. Yeah, you got Gentleman Pirate as one of your abilities. Why don't we say that you are the one who spies it, or maybe even someone from above. Someone in the crow's nest that Sabato is climbing near says, you know, looks down at you. He's almost lost in the black and he's silhouetted when the lightning kind of traces across the sky, and he yells down at you, "Ship!"
Does he indicate if it's behind or in front of us?
He gestures ahead, and from up on the rigging, Sabato, you look out, and let me show you what you can see, and I'll let you shout it down to the others. And the weather is obviously a little worse than what we're seeing in this illustration, but yeah, there is a ship not far ahead. You're almost on top of it. And Sabato, do you have any skills or backgrounds or whatnot relating to like ships or identifying of types? Guess you maybe need to rely on one of the more nautical allies to figure that out. What do you do?
I think I will clamber down and get to where Billy and the Capitano are to let them know there's a ship up ahead.
Staggering back and forth as the deck pitches and yaws back and forth, you walk over and put your hand on Billy. You point, and the two of you guys can see it out there. I think with your backgrounds, you need not make any rolls. It is the heart of Hamza.
How are we upon them?
They are facing away. They have their stern to you, or the aft to you, I should say. And there does not appear to be any lights on her.
Let's sail up to try to maneuver closer, I guess.
Okay.
Sabato will frown and look at the Capitan like, we were told they left the week before we arrived. So they would have a week's head start. How could we have?
Very strange.
You're an amazing captain, but to gain a week on them?
It makes no sense.
Very little does from since we arrived in Tortuga.
Agreed.
So, this is going to be a little bit of tricky sailing to be able to get up there. So, fortunately, we have a bunch of tricky sailors. Who would like to be making the roll? And here's like in some of the other games we play too, like Savage Worlds from earlier today, you can also, there's in Amazing Adventures, there are rules for assisting. And what you do is you make a roll yourself, and then it adds either +1 on a success, or if you beat it by 5, it adds +2 to the main person's roll, and you dictate how you want to help. So what I'm thinking is that is it just the crew of the Kestrel who are going to be trying to go up alongside the Heart of Hamza, or do you want to bring the let Don Esteban and Daye know what's going on?
I think I would yell, let them know.
Okay.
I'll tell them, and then Sabato will.
Yeah, so when you knock on the door, you find only Daye in there. What do you say?
He can't help but sort of has a quick glance around and go like, where's Esteban? But then, we have found the heart of Hamza. It's coming up on it. You might want to let your companion know and join us on deck for this.
Yes, I will let him know.
Okay. So he closes the door, and I imagine it's the same door that leads into the library afterwards.
And then Daye is going to knock loudly.
Coo.
Like like the code for trouble.
Yeah, and you're sitting there in this like placid library, and you hear from very, very far off, toot, 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 toot.
Yeah, and unfortunately I know what that means, so I shut the book.
Yeah.
And just, run to the door.
Place your key in it, and Daye, once again, it opens up, and where Sabato had stepped through from outside of the hallway, it now opens up into the sprawling and bright library.
Crazy. Well, I tell him, I guess we hired the right people. We've come upon the heart of Hamza amazingly.
Already?
Even in the storm, yes.
That seems very strange. We must investigate what's going on. And I shut the door, take the key.
Okay.
Sort of steady myself. Whoa, it's rough.
The transition, I think, from outside to in, just like, oh, what the fuck is going on? All right, so the two of you make your way to the deck. It's
still like storming, right?
Oh yeah, like crazy. So if you guys make it to the deck, like again, the water washes over, there's rain coming down, and at first you have difficulty seeing it until another peal of lightning, or I guess it's thunder that peals, flash of lightning and a peal of thunder that follows. You can see the ship. It is the heart of Hamza. The Barbary pirate ship is maybe 2 ship lengths ahead of you right now. So, for our tricky pirates, how are you guys intending on getting yourself approached? What I'm thinking is that this is going to be a challenge level 6 test to get yourself in without causing damage to the ship. Because, I mean, being in here with the ship under full control, that's bad. Having your ship damaged and perhaps the sails damaged and being completely out of control in a storm like this, that'd be worse.
Yeah.
So, who is taking the lead for this? I think this is probably I think it's either a charisma check relating to this stuff for directing the crew, or perhaps an intelligence check, because you just need to know how to gauge the ebb and flow of the boat. And I think anyone with kind of a pirate nautical background, that would probably be a good choice for the lead in it. How everyone wants to help, I'm open to you guys coming up with creative suggestions for how to approach it. So who is taking the lead? Is it our captain?
Yeah, well, so the one thing that the captain is not good, like he's not that strong, and I imagine for like coming up beside the ship, someone really strong on the helm would be like important. So I imagine that as soon as he sees the ship, he's probably got a helmsman or someone with like, a sturdy body and big arms and a barrel chest to sort of like take over the helm.
Yep.
And he would move to more a position of like, commanding.
That's Mr.
ship,
Shea,
right?
He's a big Scotsman.
Yeah, Mr. Shea, go take the helm. And so, so then he would sort of take over, like commanding the ship and commanding the men at this point.
Okay, you're thinking what, charisma then?
Yeah, like he would do the that part of the.
So then, who wants to help our captain out? You're going to basically, again, we'll figure out what the difficulty would be for it. You'll make your roll. If you succeed, you give +1 to his roll. If you can beat it by 5, +2 to his roll.
I think Billy's, still kind of trying to pay attention a little bit, but he pulls back a little bit from the trance and the conch, and he looks at the waves and he's like, Captain, we can't just slide in beside her. We need to like ride up on the starboard side and have the waves pull us in. That'll be the safest bet. So he's going to use salty old sea dog, using the wisdom that he's acquired being out on the seas.
Yeah.
To try and assist with how to get in.
Nice.
I think that's a wisdom. It feels like it's an instinctive thing, right?
Yeah, it's like he's using his experience.
Yeah. Okay, so then it's a 16 would have been the target number you're rolling against, so that is easily a success. You're going to get +2 from Billy.
Nice.
What about Sabato, or Indaye, or Don Esteban?
I think Sabato will be in the rigging and try to sort of encourage the crew.
Okay.
Less in a sort of, shouting orders and more like a sort of, banter and quick wit and, sort of just, we can do this, and then just...
probably pretty terrified, too. Like, it's a ghost ship. What kind of ship has no lights on in the middle of a storm?
If there are ghosts, we have Billy, and he's met the devil, so I wouldn't worry about the ghosts. Just sort of that sort of...
Yep. So go ahead. That sounds like a definitely a charisma check, but what are you thinking for skills or backgrounds?
I'm not sure if any really applied. The closest one I can think of was maybe Heartbreaker, and that he's generally quite liked by the crew.
Yeah, well, that sounds
pushing
good.
it a bit.
Let's see. Yep.
Charisma is a prime for me.
And that is prime once again. So again, you get another +2. So you got +4 to your roll right now, Captain.
Nice.
Don Esteban or Indaye, do you have anything you guys wish to attempt to try and boost the thing? You don't have to, just if you would like to.
Yeah, go on.
I mean, well, I guess Indaye is not really a sailor, but and I doubt the Kestrel has a marine, so she'll try to stay out of the way. I mean, I guess she's dexterous, so she can.
I was gonna say if she's either like dexterous or strong, there are many jobs that just require a good pair of hands, right? It doesn't necessarily.
Rigging comes loose. We need to get somebody on that rope and pull
she
it
can
down. And...
She can do that. She's dexterous at least.
Sure.
She can.
Give us just a flat dexterity check then, please.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have any.
Okay, 13. And dex is what, a prime or a secondary?
Prime? Yeah, it's primary.
Prime. Okay, great. Yeah, so that's a success. You get +5.
Oh, cool.
What about
Nice.
Don Esteban?
Yeah, what he's thinking, at any time of need, he immediately reaches for his cross. So he pulls that out. He's got it in his hand, around his neck. And he's looking for an opportune moment when the boats are getting close together, and he wants to cast a web spell to like join the boats so that they're not smashing each other to pieces, and try and make a point where we can cross the boats potentially. So
why don't we do this? Rather, you're not going to have to make a skill check to cast the spell, but let's here, Esteban.
Billy wants to tell him these are ships, but he's going to keep it motion.
Let's. Why don't you give us an intelligence with Raider of the Lost Arcana check? And I think, hold on, you've also got some bonuses coming in.
Get +3 for casting, but I don't know.
Yeah, +3 for your cast. Yeah, I would let you apply for this and spellcraft checks. So, yeah, why don't you give us a intelligence check +5?
So let's see. Has that done it?
Yes, I think so. Extra +5. No, it's your levels +5. I'd actually, that's a 30 in total then. Oof. So you have a +7 to your roll, Captain Hart, which is good. So you're going to get a net plus. Basically, it is a net +1 against a target number of 10.
Okay. So.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So why don't you tell us what it looks like as you bring this thing perfectly into position? Everyone's working in concert or motivating the crew.
I mean, I think it's like a matter of like tying all that together and sort of making sure that all the crew is aware of what everyone's doing, right? He's sort of calling it out as it's happening, right? Like,
Okay.
Amazing.
What does your spell look like, Don Esteban?
He's fairly sort of traditional when it comes to magic, so pretty much what it sounds like is exactly what it looks like. So it does look like just a thick, sticky sort of spider's web, as you'd expect. Yeah.
Okay, so that goes out, and both ships, when they do sort of boom, there's a sound and they hit together, but no more rocky than a ship, coming up against a harbor. And then they are secured together first by Don Esteban's magic, and then the crew, ropes. Certainly not the first time they've had to, board another ship. So all these boarding things go over. They pull it in and tie the ships together. And in the middle of the storm, the two of them are side by side. There is
We've never
no sign of life.
Another ship before.
Where is their crew?
With the crew gone? No one on board?
If you look around, and Daye, you can smell something. Something is burning on this new ship. Not like a big fire, but like something aromatic is being burned. And none of the rest of you would pick this up. There's storm, there's rain or whatnot. She has a very hypernatural sense of smell. I think because of your background too in Daye, it smells like the kind of unusual, herbs or substances that are burned in occultic rituals.
Yeah, well, I'll let Don Esteban know. It smells like some sort of ritual is going on here.
And I assume that's below deck you're sort of picking that up from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's raining, so...
Yeah, so I shall alert probably the captain sort of first, because he'll probably lead the rest of the guys. There seems to be some sort of ritual, maybe on the lower decks of this boat, maybe some magic or sorcery.
It doesn't sound good. Should we board it?
It may be part of them gaining access to this island.
What's the conch telling us?
You're not there yet.
Okay.
Could be a trap.
This isn't our place, Captain. Even if it is theirs.
Well, I will investigate if no one else. And he's looking to sort of climb onto the other boat.
Sure. Just give us a dexterity check. It's just to keep your footing, so if there's anything you think might apply, go ahead. Otherwise, it'll be a challenge level 3. So I think for you, that's a 13 DC.
I think he's got anything, really. So...
No drowning.
Boy. So you land on that. So you could spend... you can't re-roll. But what you're going to do is you can't spend to save. You leap across, and it's at that point... It flashes once again, and now what you can see is that the entire deck has seemingly been carved up. There are occultic symbols all across this thing. The entire deck, there's not a single inch of space that is not covered with this stuff. And you sort of, and stagger enough for when the ship's to creak a little bit aside, you're sliding to the point where you would fall in the gap between the two, which would close and you would be gone forever. Would you give us a dexterity save, please? Don Esteban. It's a DC 3, so it'll be a save against 13. You want to spend a fate point?
I certainly will.
Roll 1d4. No, a fate point gives you roll 1d8 and add it to it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did say that.
No.
So Donis, I think you all see, like, you're kind of hanging back. He leaps across, and then he's shocked by something he sees, and it's on the mast as well. And perhaps you see faces carved into it. You stagger back. This thing slides, and Daye would have been very close to him. And Daye, you can see he's about to fall between the ships.
Oh, she's gonna try to grab him,
Okay.
Leap and grab him.
Okay, so I think that's probably a strength or a dexterity check. How are you thinking? Are you trying to hold him, or are you trying to?
Well, I'm trying to grab him first, and then,
Yeah, so that's probably. I can't remember. Doesn't Dai have weapon finesse? Let's see here.
No, I don't see anything like that.
No, she. Oh, yeah, you do. Yeah,
I do. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, which means just go ahead and give us a dexterity check against a target number of. So the challenge level would be 3 again. So this will be a. Is Dex a prime for her?
Primary. Yeah.
Yeah. So 13, DC 13. Hey, what does it look like as she leaps over and grabs Don Esteban?
She kind of leaps over, like slides along the deck. I guess it's probably like, everything's listing back and forth, right, in the waves. And she slides down across the deck and grabs his collar and makes sure it's secure before he falls. And what did you see?
And Don Esteban is obviously panicked.
I'll try to pull him back up on the deck.
Yeah. He's obviously panicked, but he almost expects someone. Well, he always expects there's only one person that's going to be saving him. So it's almost, he almost expects it. And he sort of just carries on and he starts showing all the symbols and that on the deck. And
Yeah, these are all invocations. You actually recognize this. It is an ancient language. This is one of the earliest. These are all markings in Sumerian.
And from a glance, can I pick up any sort of vibe of what it's trying to do?
They are all invocations for something called the Crown. And there is a reference to a dragon. It would be Tiamat that the Sumerians would refer to. The great dragon of chaos, effectively, is what these are all invocations to.
Yeah. So it would take more time to try and sort of decipher what exactly is going on, obviously.
Yeah, and there's also that's assuming there was some kind of method to this. I can tell you that no one has effectively used Sumerian as a written language in the ballpark of 3,000 years. For you.
Yeah, because he's got this crypto-linguistic sort of ability, hasn't he, for sort of deciphering.
You also speak Sumerian, actually.
So are we're on the deck of the heart then?
Yes, you're in the heart of Hamza, and this whole thing, the whole deck has been seemingly carved up into some kind of. It's the kind of thing you would see on like a cuneiform tablet normally, where you would have, in some cases, letters or whatnot, or prayers. It's like they turn the entire ship into a invocation.
And the smell, where's that coming from?
In Dai, now that you're on here, definitely below decks.
Yep. But I don't there's no people, right? It's so weird.
Not on the deck, no, not on top.
Unless they're below.
Yeah. Motion the others over, I guess. We're gonna go below.
Permission to aid the our help our hired
employers.
Okay. Sabato, come with me.
I was afraid you would say that, but sure, lead the way.
Billy and Sabato, would you kindly give us dexterity checks, please? It'd be a challenge level of 3.
It's easy, don't worry, lads.
And I will catch you.
Does I was going to say using one of her ship.
Yes, if you've got a background that applies or a skill applies, you can definitely.
Terrible. Another one.
I'll tell you what happened is that Billy, you could sort of go over because you saw what's his name fail it. You're about to go across, and you see something in the water.
Oh no!
In the blackened water, and you're like frozen in place. I was just checking. So you're fine, Sabato. Yep. So you land on the other side, and you look back, and Billy is just pale and dead stop, and he seems to be staring down at like the little bit of a gap between the boats. Captain Hart, you would also pick this up.
Billy?
Billy, you're getting close now.
I'm sure they have rum on this ship. Rum, Billy. There's rum. Well, Sabato will try and sort of peer over just to see if there's anything in the water.
So because you're seeing Sabato move forward and looking over the side, Billy, I think you can give us a will save and see if you can shake out of this fear.
Okay, is there something I should be using to try and help? Like,
Billy, just give us a... I think this, seeing that Sabato may be exposing himself to what you saw down there, okay. You can give us a will save, and the challenge level for this will be, I think, a 5, because it's going to be a little more tricky.
I was going to ask, does this have something to do with, like, a folktale, or the fact that I've died in 7?
So this isn't an ability check, this is a save. You don't get to add your skills to saves, necessarily.
Okay. Then I'll just hit the button and see what happens.
Come on.
Nice.
Easy. So Sabato is about to be in a great deal of trouble. What do you do?
Back! Don't look.
I don't think you've heard Billy speak in that kind of manner, except for when he's deep in his cups with the rum.
Yeah, Sabato will. He's a little bit terrified of Billy. And all so he will definitely step back when he hears that tone of voice, and like, that's the being called by your full name sort of.
Yeah.
He'll sort of, if you're going to join me on this side, I would look over the railing.
So with a snort, Billy, you're able to easily leap across now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That leaves only Captain Hart left on the Kestrel. Is that the plan?
Yeah, for now.
Okay. So then the 4 of you are on the deck of this, and you can see when the light flashes once again that this place, like someone has, it's like the entire thing has been turned over to some horrifically demented imagination of an artisan. Everything is carved in this bizarre fashion in a language that none of you understand, but find deeply disquieting. And in this light, it seems as if all the wood is black and reflective as well, soaked with water. What do you guys do?
Billy looks over to Don Esteban and Nadia says, "Okay, so we're here. What did you want to look?"
We need to get below deck.
Below and see what's going on.
Okay. Who was the first one to throw the door open to the lower deck?
I think and yeah, if you want, and Dia will do it unless someone stops her. But
so Billy's like, and he's gonna. Can he probe into the lower decks with his sight?
Sure, you can try.
Give it a shot.
I think I'll give you just because of the pitch and yaw of the deck. You know what? Hold on. I was gonna give you a penalty, but you've also got the salty sea dog, or salty old sea dog. So I think it'll cancel it out. So yeah, just give us a wisdom check. The challenge here is going to be a 0 effectively. So it's an 18. I guess you're rolling against.
Wisdom check.
Wisdom check. Yeah.
Okay. Is this for like the witch sight type thing?
That's what you're thinking. Is that what you're planning on using?
Well, yeah, like I was thinking like so that he's not surprised and he can perceive what's going through it. Not the evil eye thing. That's Miles, right?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So you get a wisdom check to avoid surprises and +2 on any active search or perception related task.
Oh, sorry, Dave. Yeah. Yes. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. You're gonna use it as if one of the detect detect spells.
Like a detect magic or detect traps or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I mean either of those. So let's say it's a DC 1. That's an 11 you're rolling against now.
Okay.
Just don't roll in that one.
Can I try to sense magic and see if that's?
I'll let you use both. Like we'll kind of tumble them both together into this.
Okay.
It's the same difficulty, I think, because the difficulty is set by the level of spell it would be representing.
Okay.
So easily, yeah. There is definitely some bizarre magic at play down below. You can feel it in your gut. You rely on your gut quite a bit, it seems. And there are no traps. There's nothing unsafe about the door, at least not as far as any thing is waiting below for you.
He'll say that to the group. He's like, I don't sense any traps, but there's an eerie form of magic below deck. Be prepared. And he'll slide the door open and draw. I don't know. He's saber? Sure.
Okay. You got your saber out. You throw the door open. Once the door is open, you can hit the smell as well. How are you guys? There is a tiny bit of light below. But would you any of you brought over a storm lantern or something like that?
I'd probably fire up a light spell.
Okay, nice.
I'll put it on my saber.
Okay.
So or rapier. So
yeah, give us a. Oh, and remember that when you cast a spell, it's the level of the spell +1 in MEP.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. That's the blue bar on your character sheet.
Oh, sorry.
So I should have said that before. It's not. Come on, Darren, read my mind. Random blue colors. How's that not obvious?
Yeah, I can see how many points it is now. Makes sense. Yep. So that will cost.
Okay. So the light flashes up. Sorry, Dave, you were going to say something?
I would say blues for mana. He should know that.
Yeah.
Exactly. You played Diablo before? Come on.
That's rookie stuff.
So the light flashes up as he speaks some ancient occultic words. It lights down, and there's a deck going down. Boy, it was almost better when you didn't see it because the entire inside of this is all carved up with cuneiform as well.
Someone's been busy.
Yeah.
Why?
And the odor is quite strong, and in Dae, because of your heightened senses, you can hear someone muttering down there.
Oh, there's someone still here.
What?
In Dae, you can give us a... Do you have any skills related to spot or listen? I can't remember.
I don't know what field guide is. What's field guide?
Oh, yeah, you have listen.
Okay.
You may hear noises others do not. So why don't you give us a wisdom check?
Okay. Wisdom. Just click wisdom. Wisdom is secondary. So
I'll let you add +2 for the field guide. Yeah, I'd buy that.
Okay. So does it give me a chance to add a modifier? I can't remember.
I don't think it. Not these characters. These character sheets are pretty simple. We're using the ones from CNC because there isn't an Amazing Adventures one.
Okay.
But so that'll be whatever you're rolling +2. So go ahead.
Okay.
16. Cool. Okay. So you can hear them speaking down there.
Mm-hmm.
You could swear you don't speak it, but it sounds like German.
Okay.
There's at least 3 voices down there.
All right. I'll let the people know.
Okay. What do you guys do?
Well, I think we need to put a stop to whatever this is.
Yeah.
So
we can do that. Pull the flintlock.
If I can get sight on them, we can try and stop them.
Okay. So how do you guys plan on making your way down?
Well, I'll be second, so I can give light in front and behind.
Yeah, I guess Daya is gonna draw a rapier and try to open that, like the hatch with one hand.
Okay. Billy's opened it up for you, I believe. That's why you're able to see down into it
okay.
and hear. Yeah.
Okay. So she'll draw a rapier and start going down.
Okay. So Billy and Daya are the first 2 ones down. It seems Don Esteban is next. Signore Sabato, are you following up the rear?
Yeah. I draw this beautiful set of matched sabers.
Okay.
So we adopted the Florentine style and then follow them down.
Nice. So you guys make your way down.
Should we call the captain over? He might want to be here.
We may need an ally on the other boat or ship, should I say?
I think Billy leans back and it's like, Captain's faced some strange things in his day. I'm sure he'd be, yeah.
Well, you know him.
Captain, what are you doing right now while everyone is aboard that other ship? You got the whole crew at your disposal, I guess.
So what he's done is, I'm imagining that there's they're preparing something that they call something like a campfire keg or something like that, where they, take a barrel of oil and like lace it with gunpowder or something. Like he's preparing something to burn this ship, to burn the heart of Hamza down, even in this storm. Something that they know they can put on the deck of it or underneath it and light it up, and it will burn out from under even in this heavy rain. So that's what he's been doing. He's been preparing this thing with the crew.
So you are getting this stuff ready and getting things up on the deck. You look over and you can see there's a light that appears over there, which seems to illuminate the 4 companions, and they slowly make their way down beneath the deck. There's a flash, and for a brief second, you see something standing at the stern of your ship.
Oh no.
There's a flash. You see this. And then there's a flash once again, and it is gone. But this is what you saw.
Oh no.
Oh gosh.
Suspense is killing me. It's still loading.
Ignorance is bliss.
Loading. Loading.
So as you guys get down, you make your way down into the hold of the heart of Hamza. What you see is a... Oh, I love it. Dave's got Billy as his display picture right now. You make your way down into there, and you can all hear that muttering now, and it's in German, and it's not like they're sharing things together. They're not like all invoking something at the same time. They're all muttering. It's almost like a crowd, like you'd hear in a people talking to one another in a room who aren't all speaking to one another. But it's all the same thing. It's all the same German. And Don Esteban, I am the bridge, anointed by the crown, the vril, and the dragon, and Hyperborea flows through me. I am what was, what is, and what is to be. I am all. That is what they repeat over and over as you make your way down in here. You can see it's almost like a prayer gathering. Probably 20 men, stripped down to their loincloth, all kneeling around an open circle in the area. As you're making your way down here, all of the carvings, every single available surface has been marred by this cuneiform writing. They all seem to be prostrate on the ground. And in the center, it's a howling dog. In the center, there are other markings that make an unusual symbol that I think you have seen deep when you were sailing down near Madagascar, a symbol favored by the people of the subcontinent. As you walk in, the light illuminates it. The cuneiform forms together a larger image, and in the center of it, in that open circle, a swastika. They make no indication of recognizing you whatsoever, and all keep muttering to one another. What do you guys do? We have Ndaye and Billy in the lead there.
So are any of these like the people we're looking for?
These are all, it's all folks who are North African in descent. So there's not you do not see either the Russian or the orphan maker among them. But this, I've got actually a good. Where are they here? Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Is that loading? What's going on? Come on, roll 20. There we go.
See a guy.
He's a little. Oh, he's sitting in the middle of the screen there. There we go. He's a little. This guy is more of a sub-Saharan African, but you get from the accoutrements. I think you get the vibe of what these guys would all be looking like. So, but they all are down, and they are all talking, or muttering still in German. And all discordant with one another, too. They all seem to be in the center of the hold. Those of you in the basement, would you kindly give us a will save, please, against a challenge level 1? So this will just be whatever if you're a prime, secondary, tertiary, +1.
Is that a wisdom check?
Yeah, just roll a wisdom check on the character sheet. Okay. Oh, Sabato.
I will spend a fate point.
Okay, gives a 1d8 roll. Is that enough?
Wisdom is primary for me, so it's
then that's just barely enough.
One.
So there's a second where you catch yourself, your mouth. You don't speak German, but you're beginning to go along with what they're saying. And you catch yourself like, what is going on?
Weird.
Those of you who, I think, Ndaye and Don Esteban in particular, you guys are familiar with curses and invocations and enchantments and shit like that. You've resisted it because, you've been around this stuff before, but there's something that's trying to pull people in with this invocation. It's almost infectious. This may in fact be a plague ship. Only it is a spiritual corruption that is being spread here. There is no sign of the captain, no sign of the Russian or the mystic.
Is there any item, like in the central position or where they're sort of grouped around, anything that could be sort of...
There is a marking on the floor,
item.
that you're not familiar. You've seen it on various things, items of luck and stuff like that in the subcontinent when you've traveled around India and Madagascar. But here, perhaps they're trying to ward off evil, maybe? But if this is... Sabato, do you say anything about the experience you just had there?
Yes, I think the others will probably hear him sort of saying "Ich bin die Brücke," and sort of like catch himself.
Yeah.
And sort of he'll stumble backwards. This is almost too much for him, so he'll try to leave the room with all of the chanting people. And he'll stumble backwards and say, "It's getting in my head." Is
this a trap?
I don't like it.
Is this a trap that the Russian left?
We need to end this.
Would I have any knowledge of being able to stop this in one, like by destroying a central ritual sort of?
I don't know if you. Why don't you give us? Let's do this. This will be an intelligence check against. You're trying to know if you can identify what the nature of this ritual is. I think the challenge level is going to be. Gosh, it's going to be a little higher, so it'll be an 8 on this because this is a very unusual thing. So that would be wisdom or intelligence is a prime for you, right?
Intelligence, yeah.
Okay, so it's an 18. You're rolling against with intelligence. Any skill you think would apply here?
It's got magical traditions.
Magical traditions would work, and your spellcraft check, your bonus of +3 from your cross would likewise apply.
So I'll just roll the intelligence, then we're at
+3 to it.
Yeah,
just barely. So this is what this is it's like they've all been afflicted with some kind of enchantment, and it seems to be spreading from the way that you felt it tug on you and the way that it seemed to tap into Sabato. If you don't want to join them, in invoking this, it's almost like not only does it trap you and invoke you, it's got to be powering some kind of thing, because you are genuinely doing a ritual with it as well.
Well, that's what I was trying to get to the bottom. Is it empowering something, or
it's working towards something else? Yeah.
And is there I don't know if that was good enough to. You know what you can do? Why don't you give us
do you want to spend a fate point, add 1d8 to that roll, and see if you can get a better result? Because if you can beat it by 5.
Okay, yeah. I shall.
You may learn a little more. Look at that.
Darren's 19 also didn't include his +3 or whatever.
That's true, yes, but 22 is not 5 over, but this is what you think. From what Billy, you may be able to pick this up too. Like, there's not. If you say out loud, if this is sort of like, you're helping to work together in this, if you say, like, it's a ritual, it's trying to, they're trying to force us to work with this or to power something. Billy, you can tell there's magic down here, but it's not fueling everything. It's almost like it's spiraling out magical power that is given no direction. Like, if there was something that this ritual was linked to, good God, like, you would start a ritual, and then the more people who would stumble upon this, the more they become infected, the more they would start praying at it, and the stronger that invocation would become. But here in the middle of the ocean, without any direction, it's just power spilling out. Wait, isn't this close to the center of the storm too?
Maybe this is creating the storm.
That would make sense.
We need to stop this ritual now.
So did I gather from that there was a way of breaking it? Like I said, if I sort of defaced that central rune and
I think the way that you felt it pull and the way that Sabato was affected by it, it's in them. It has spiritually and fundamentally changed them. They are now of the ritual. Speaking of which, as you guys are talking, let's all make a wisdom save at DC 2. Captain Hart's on the free. I just got some fucking Octo dude to deal with. You guys are fucked. Oh, Billy. Billy, what? Yeah, yours is a prime. So, Billy, you're currently off by 3. You want to spend a fate point and roll a d8?
8 for a d8?
Yeah, you remember fate points in this, you spend them, and then you get to roll 1d8 and add that to the result.
Nice.
All right, so Billy, you guys can all feel the pull of this thing as you're talking, and I think maybe as you're talking back and forth, one or two of you let a word of German slip in by accident.
Billy's like, we need to, destroy this place and leave.
Yeah, before we leave, I've got one more sort of theory. Is it, or does it seem to be stronger because there's 20 of them? Do I think if there was less of them, it would be less powerful?
That would make sense, yeah.
Okay, can I try and cast a sleep spell and just knock out a few of them instantly?
Yeah, what is the hold on, where's my...
It's 2d4 sort of hit dice of creatures within a 30-foot circle.
Oh, great. Okay. 2d4.
Yeah.
Yeah, so go ahead and give us a 2d4 roll. Actually, first, give us a spellcasting roll. So it'd be a intelligence against a... Let's see, challenge level is... Sleep is a first level spell. So it would be an 11. And then you're going to add your +3 from your... what do you call it? Thing, and then also your occultic... you were in your library today, so that gives another +1.
Okay. So that'd be +4, is it?
+4, yeah. So that is 15. That's not a great roll. Go ahead and give us a 2d4 roll. 5 of them drop down. And things Billy, you can feel almost immediately the storm seems to be getting a little bit better.
Good. Flintlock.
Okay, you blast one of them. That's another one down. Sabato or Indaye, do you wish to do anything this round?
I think Indaye is going to take a rapier and attack one. I guess they're not attacking back.
Yeah, you guys need to make a roll. They're sitting and praying. So, yeah, there's another one down. And Sabato?
Sabato will struggle with killing them if this is something that's affecting them, so he'll try and knock them out.
Sure.
Instead of cutting through them. Yeah,
and you got your Florentine styles. That's 2 down. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. That is 8 down so far. There's still 12 that remains. Everyone give us a wisdom save against challenge level 3, please.
Billy looks over at the others and he's like, fine. Can you knock him out?
Look at that. At 20. Oh,
not today, Satan.
Okay, so I think everyone other than Don Esteban is safe here.
Yeah. So I better use a fate point, I believe.
And what is... Oh, wisdom's a... Jeez, secondary. So that's a 6, so it puts you in 19, and you needed 17 to succeed. So the pull of this thing, it's almost like it's responding. It knows that you're pulling off the power, so it's trying to pull you guys in, but you managed to resist. What do you guys wish to do for this round?
Actually, that's my score you're looking at.
The 8?
So you had
an 8.
6 and 13?
An 8 plus... oh, shit, yeah, hold on. 8 plus that is 14. Oh, Don Esteban.
So what did I need? 17?
You needed, it was a 14 plus 3, 17 is what you needed.
Ah, okay.
So you are, I think, Don Esteban stops and he begins chanting.
Oh, no.
And he's speaking in German, and you realize that he has joined. He hasn't fully dropped down and joined them yet. So perhaps there's still time for him, but the rest of you can still act. What are you guys doing?
Conk a few more out.
Okay.
Following Sabato and the non-lethal route, so Billy's like, all right.
One more for you, 2 more for Sabato. That leaves 8 left.
Sabato will actually, if Don Esteban starts speaking in German and seems to be affected, he won't knock people out. He'll try and snap Don Esteban out of it. And he is almost preternaturally charming at times. So I would like to invoke the charm ability, where once per day I may attempt to charm another person, and it essentially affects some of it as if by a charm spell. So I'm hoping by just focusing on Don Esteban.
Yeah. And I think Don Esteban wants to fight against it. So what do you say to him? What is it that you sort of say to get him to resist this?
And so grab him, grab the cross he's sort of been holding, and say, I don't know much about this, and I don't understand what's going on. It's freaking me out, but you seem to know what's going on, and this is important, so just get with it. We need you. And he'll sort of thrust the cross in his face.
You could feel yourself being pulled in for this, and for the slightest of seconds, Don Esteban, you could hear millions of voices calling this. Seemingly from far off, from close by, there were millions of these voices. But you are back in the hold of this rocking ship. Indaye, what are you doing?
She's going to take out another one.
Another one is down. You are down to... so 1, 2... So you're down to 10 left right now, guys. Then at the start of next round, this is now a challenge level 4.
Maybe we should just leave
and blow up the ship.
Yes.
At 20.
It's 2 in a row. Nice.
Billy's off by 1. Don Esteban is off by... Let's see here.
I need like
4, I think, now.
Oh.
Do your psychic powers... Dave, include any kind of connection to the captain?
Check.
Okay, so let's see here.
I think no.
Yeah, you're currently 5 shy, I think, Carl. Well, it was 14. Ugh, you're 7 shy. And Don Esteban, you are 5 shy. So do you guys want to spend fate points? Roll d8?
Yep.
Okay.
Nope.
So, Don Esteban, you can see that now Ndaye is beginning to intone in German, and you are fairly certain she does not speak that language. Billy, you're also short by 1.
Yep, I'll just take
You're
off
fine.
one.
All right, so you guys have
Billy,
free actions to do right now, except for Ndaye, who is standing and looking off and speaking in German.
Billy's like, let's get out of here. And he just puts his sword away and then scoops up and back up the stairs and out the door.
Okay. So you grab her. Or what about Sabato and Don Esteban?
If Billy, if this is too much for Billy, Sabato is definitely following behind him.
Okay, so you turn sprint.
It's just like.
And what about you, Don Esteban?
He's going to leave, but would he be able to? Can I do the same spell again? I don't know how the.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Whatever's listed,
Yeah.
it's kind of like 5e in this, in that whatever's there, you can cast any of your prepped spells. It spends you spend your magic points or MEP.
Okay. I just want to try to sleep before I leave to just reduce it.
Sure. Cast back. Okay.
Just so it's.
So just give us an intelligence check quickly.
Yep.
That is an 11 you needed. Yeah, so you're good. Give us a 2d4 roll, please. 6 more. There's only 4 remaining.
Kev, I've got this Unbreakable Will, which is supposed to give me a +2 on Wisdom saving throws. Can I get my 2 fate points back?
Oh, yes, you can. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because you were just on the cusp with both of those, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've pulled them upstairs, or to the upstairs, on the first deck. Don Esteban, you're the last one left down. You can feel this magic is waning. There is only 2. Do you want to risk another will save and then try another sleep spell? Or do you run with the rest?
It feels like the risk is there's too much risk involved, so he's gonna pull back.
Okay.
He was just hoping that they might have all fell asleep or it might have broken it.
You can spend 2 fate points to automatically succeed in a save too.
Yeah, I've only got 1 left.
I couldn't tell you. Yeah, the green bar is your fate points, or it intended to be your fate points, guys.
Sorry.
So I don't know what okay. So what do you do then, Esteban?
Yeah, I'm just gonna with move.
Okay.
I'm just gonna
So you race on top. So then, Ndaye, why don't you give us another will save, and we'll give you a +2 to this, because you're brought on deck. Billy's right near you,
and he's screaming at you to snap out of it.
Yeah.
Not quite rum rage, but.
So it'll be another wisdom check for Ndaye. Let's see if she can shake this influence. Oh, Carl, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, yeah.
Ndaye.
Yes, please. A wisdom check.
Okay. Yeah, someone grabbed her though, right? I hope.
Someone, yes. Billy grabbed you.
17. Okay.
17, 18, 19 from the bonus. That's enough. So you suddenly find yourself, you can feel the wash of rain on your face, and there's the hideous face of Billy Boundico looking at you, saying, "Shake out of it, get out of it." And again, you had the exact same experience as Don Esteban. Wherever you were, there were millions of voices calling out. Some as close as like whispering in your ear, others as if being called across from a stadium. It was just a cacophony of those voices. But now you're back. And then as soon as you're on deck, you see Don. Your first thought, I imagine, is to find Esteban, and then you see him run up on deck as well. What do you guys do?
Billy whispers into Sabato, "Don't look at the water. Let's get off this ship."
But there's so much of it. And then follow him across.
So this will only be a dex check of 3. So why don't you guys give us all dex checks against challenge level 3 to race across this deck and leap onto the other. I'm sure you guys can do this.
Yep.
Look at that. Easy. Nat 20.
Wow.
Is that your third Nat 20?
Yeah, no, yeah, in a row as well. I'm like,
Is Esteban?
Sabato didn't leave me anything left in the roll 20 tank.
sorry.
So Billy, your dex is what?
Secondary.
Dex is your secondary, so that is 6. That's 7, 8. That's 9 shy.
I can't even roll with a fate point to save myself.
No.
So after telling Sabato to not look into the water, I think maybe Billy's glances down as he's trying to swing across and maybe loses his footing and slips and goes feeling in between the ship.
Now hold on, you got salty old sea dog, right?
Yeah, I got a couple of.
That would give you a +2 to this. Because, I mean, this is not the first time you jumped in a storm from one ship to another. So that would put you at 10, which would leave you 7 shy? 7 shy. You want to try a fate point? Oh! At least you didn't fail by 5. So you stumble on this, and I need a dex save from you to catch the side.
Okay.
Well, this will only be a DC 1, so this will be a 15 you're rolling against.
Come on, Billy. Don't want to drown in another sea. There we go.
Oh, so you all leap from one deck to the other, and you see Billy stumbles a bit, falls down. The ships are beginning to break apart. That spell of yours, the web spells, kind of breaking. Billy slides and kind of catches himself on the edge of the boat, but he is about to go off the side. What does anyone want to do?
Billy shouts out to the captain, "Send that ship to the depths!"
If it looks like Billy is still falling down, Sabato will sort of reach out a hand and I'll try and help him over there.
Give us a strength check, please. Is that a tertiary?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's... Look at that, though! Beautiful! So what do we see as you leap over and pull Billy out? Oh.
I think it'll be... Just for the dramatics, I'll have to reach for the tentacle arm, which... Sabato absolutely is not, he's used to it, but it's the closest one, so just reach out and and pull him across.
So
I think as a joke after that, when Billy's back up on deck, he pats him with the tentacle arm, knowing, hey, thanks, lad.
You're very welcome, Billy.
So I think with that, as you're pulled back on, you can finally hear and the ships begin breaking apart and slowly drifting. Captain, what have you got ready for this ship?
Yeah, he's got this sort of, like you said, like a keg that's probably oil and gunpowder mixed, and they've got some kind of a wick coming out of there that they would use on their cannon or whatever. And the men are ready to sort of, as soon as they're getting back on the ship, they're loading this thing onto the boat. So
in the storm on this pitching and yawing deck, rain pouring against them, he brings his saber down. Fire! And we see kook out the side of the Kestrel. All these cannons come out. The crew members toss this thing over. It hits the deck, explodes, and then we hear the roar of cannon fire from beneath as it blasts into the side of this thing. The explosion that comes lights up the deck very briefly, and Don Esteban, you can look back, and it honestly, Dante would, would struggle with his imagination to find a more real vision of hell, as this blackened ship with all the cuneiform occult markings on it is brightly lit up with dancing flames and the smell of brimstone. But the Kestrel then, we see Mr. Shea at the back pull the thing away, and the ship arcs away as it does, and there's some secondary explosions and such. And as it does explode, the ship seems to burst out. It lists to the side and then begins slowly falling down. And almost to the moment where it hits the side, the storm subsides. It seems as if whatever ritual was ongoing in that place is finally over. And allow me to grab your tokens here. Yep. And we'll bring you back to the placid we go. There is no land in sight, but there is only the slowly sinking heart of Hamza next to you. You guys are on deck. It is now a light rain that is falling on the deck. And while, I guess, I'm going to go reverse here. How does everyone feel now that that has happened, and the connection that both Don Esteban and Indaye felt is gone? Indaye, how are you feeling?
Probably like a little embarrassed that she succumbed to this ritual thing. So yeah, she's pretty quiet about it.
Okay.
Does not like that experience at all.
And Don Esteban?
Yeah, he's annoyed with himself. He's sort of he was sort of pulled into this like a cult, almost like a trap, really. And he felt like he's used up lots of his resources, you know, dealing with this when they could have just like nuked it from orbit approach, which is what they ended up doing anyway. So he feels a bit embarrassed and sort of like he's, you know, potentially put a lot of people at risk. So he's keeping quite quiet to himself and sort of keeping away from the rest of the crew because he's a bit sort of wary that they're all thinking, what an idiot.
Sabato.
I think Sabato will slump against one of the main masts, and he much prefers if they were in Tortuga having a good time. So he'll just shout over to the captain. Captain, permission to open the strategic rum reserve? I think we could all do with a fortifying little something.
Yes.
Captain Hart, the crew is elated with, you know, anytime you get to sink a ship, and that seems to, you know, also make a storm come to an end, they're all like, yeah!
Yeah. Well, and the captain is a little shaken by what he saw in the lightning, so...
In the light of day, you see it nowhere.
Yeah, exactly, which is extra troubling.
Mm-hmm. You can see Sabato definitely seems to be a bit deflated, or at least exhausted, but understandably, I suppose. Esteban and Indaye definitely seem much quieter and troubled, more so than what they did. You know, even knowing they were chasing after a Russian mystic who wanted to end the world, they seem worse now. And then, Dave, why don't you tell us what Billy is feeling?
Well, Billy always likes the rush of a good adventure, but at the same time, he doesn't like getting the glimpses of the depths that he's overly familiar with. So I think he's a little bedeviled ship and curses and chanting all side. He's more worried about what's in the water, and that's just a constant reminder to him as to what's out there.
Speaking of the water, while you can hear everyone cheering around you, you know, everyone agrees with is echoing Sabato's suggestion to, like, yeah, the rum!
Billy, that idea.
You are here. This is the place.
Captain, we've arrived at our destination.
Just when you thought there would be a small chance for relaxation, of course we have arrived.
I will take my share of rum, though.
So what you need to do is activate this thing and then simply drop it into the water. It's sinking its way down into the abyssal depths, should reach who needs to be found.
Okay. Billy's like, Sabato, bring that here. It's like, takes his swig of rum. It's like, not enough to make me angry, but it's all right. It's like, I'm going to drop this, Captain. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
So you crank it up.
Crank it up and then put it over the side.
Down to the water. Sploosh.
He's going to reload his firearm.
Okay. There's a tense minute or so until you hear a crew member say, "Captain!" And they seem to be pointing their pistol at the prow of the ship. And you've seen this thing now for the first time, or the second time, Captain. It is what you saw in the rain, but this is not something that Billy has seen. This is a Duke of Benthos. And you all can hear this thing. It's not speaking, but you can hear its voice in your mind. William, you called again.
Yes, I did. We need to get to the island of
Bermea.
You would speak more about secrets.
We must stop Wizard, who already has the keys. We need to get there now. And I won't say we'll pay any price, but we'll do what we must.
And what price would you pay for the secret sea? You can all hear this in your mind as well, too, so anyone is free to respond. I think Esteban and Indaya, you've heard rumors of this, of, you know, ancient and powerful creatures in the depths of the ocean, but you've had enough problems to keep you occupied on the land. Never mind this stuff. Boy, the tentacles on its face sure look an awful lot like Billy's arm, too, eh?
My ideas. What's going on?
So, Billy, what you know is, in a similar way to the trader, the Dukes of Benthos will require a trade in order to access the secret sea. You can also try and force the matter.
Billy says, when we're done, how about me? I've skirted payment in the past.
You would take your place with us.
That's the price.
This is an offer we have from you. This would only offer early payment. What else do you offer, Liam?
I offer no more. Don't be greedy.
Give us a, let's see here, give us a charisma check, and I think Salty Old Sea Dog for sure applies to this.
Okay.
You want to spend a fate point and add some points to that?
Yeah, that doesn't include Salty Old Sea Dog or my fate point, which is now spent.
Okay, so it's 14 plus whatever you get from your... That's 20.
Oh, nice.
So I think the most troubling thing of interacting with this Duke of Benthos is the laughter that comes from this thing. This is why you will be one of us. And he gestures up, and almost in that kind of like 70s film way where it's like sped up footage, there's this like, kind of fog bank that suddenly comes in, and the ship is completely surrounded by it. The crew's freaking out. The lights also seem to change above you day to night to day to night. And then the fog begins to slowly fade. And this is where you find yourself. You can hear the call of seabirds nesting in the cliffs on the coast of Vermeia. And by the time you look back, because I imagine this must distract you just for a split second, as soon as your eyes are off the Duke of Benthos, it is gone. They are gone. How does everyone react to this? I think that those who are crew of the Kestrel, I'm not sure you had an awareness of what the nature of Billy's past history was, but...
Not the full truth of it, that's for sure.
The butler will take a deep swing of the rum and then hand the bottle back to Billy.
Yeah.
Without saying anything, but just like, holy.
Oh.
I have died in all 7 seas. There's a reason why I stand here today. Let's make the best of it, boys. and lady.
So as he's kind of stomping away, I think Billy, very quickly gets the rest of the crew back in line and get to work.
Mm-hmm.
No time lollygagging, staring at magic. We never seen a magic island before. Come on. What about Don Esteban and Ndaye? Does this change how you feel at all right now?
I guess for Ndaye, she's like, well, I guess my secret's not so bad.
No longer the weird one.
Yeah.
It gives Don Esteban, it gives him a bit of a boost because he thinks, oh, this guy's got some pretty good resources and powers. Obviously, it's not fated for be a good ending, which makes him sad, but it gives him hope that maybe we can pull this off. So it has raised his spirits a little bit, but like I say, saddened a bit because it seems like he's almost sacrificing himself. But it seems that is unfortunately his future anyway.
So the birds are crying above you. There is the smell of the smell of the ocean is probably quite strong as well too, but there are also the smell of jungle and growth, because you are fairly close to the mouth of this thing. The thing is that it's almost like looking down the channel that leads deeper into this island, at least the one you're in front of. It's almost like the fjords, where there are massive, cliffs on either side of this, narrow channels. As far as you can see down, a good half mile down, winding. It's kind of like slowly not like bending, I guess, not curving, as it goes down, and then it curves deeper into the island. The coast goes as far as you can see in either direction as well, too. Some of it is swallowed up by the fog that hangs in here, but again, a good, half mile in either direction. What do you guys do?
We have to get off the ship, like we have to take boats out in.
You can sail. The channel here seems deep enough, which is unusual for an island, but it looks like you could sail this ship down that what do you call it? That river.
Huh.
Might be tight, Captain, but I think you can do it.
I think we stay on the ship as long as we can.
Yeah.
Do we see any signs of civilization? The myth mentioned the lost people and settlements. Is there any smoke rising up or anything else indicating someone else is here?
Yeah, give us a wisdom check. If you have any skills or backgrounds you feel would apply, go right ahead. Nice. So you're looking over. There definitely are no... There's no, like, plumes of smoke to suggest camping fires or settlements or whatnot. But you can see near the top of the cliff, there is definitely stonework of what might have been a tower or some kind of fort. From this distance, it's difficult to tell, but it does appear as if there is some kind of... There is at least something built by humans, and the stonework that you can see, because you can see it quite clearly enough, that is not like anything you've seen in Europe.
I will point it out to the others.
So if you look up there, anyone with training in occultic kind of stuff, you can give us an intelligence check to see if you can identify the make or the age of the stuff. It'd be an intelligence plus.
Die does.
Definitely. I think like in Die, I think Don Esteban and probably Billy all have that. This is nat 20.
She's been reading. So maybe she's been stealing Don Esteban's key.
So in Die, you're looking up at this thing, and honestly, like, it is a completely different environment from this. But this is there are ruins to the northwest, forgive me, of Persepolis in what are they called? Al-Iraq, near the what do you call it? What will become Mesopotamia. These are like those ruins. Completely different environment, completely different construction, but it's the kind of block work and iconography on it, very, very, very faded. But it's the kind of thing you saw, east of Constantinople years ago. This is a very, very, very old fort.
Yep. I guess Signor Placido does too, recognizes it too, I guess. Or no, is that something else?
Yeah, that was him just spotting it in the first place.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But so you maybe say that out loud, and don't.
I'll let them know.
Yeah. So, what do you guys do?
This must be the place we're looking for.
Yeah.
A bit of a hike.
Yeah, how high up is that?
That is probably, let's see here. Gosh, it looks like 400 feet probably.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty high up. You're just using the trees to judge the height. 250 maybe? I don't know. Figure those trees are what, like 20, 25 feet tall?
Do you think that's the place, or do we go further in?
There definitely is. I can tell you let me show you what sailing down it would look like, so you can get a sense of just how deep these things are.
Wow.
I mean, I could get up there fairly quickly.
Have a good vantage point from there. Maybe see the rest of the island.
But I could only go up myself. I could take a rope and that, but it'd be a fairly long climb. There must be another way up.
Yeah, that's why we go further in and see.
Yeah. I'm sure the sheer cliff is not the only way up.
Yeah, I just didn't know how much time we had, but yeah, I think climbing would take a long time anyway. Yeah, perhaps we should venture further in.
Okay. I'll bring you back to this here. So you guys are in there. It's going to be a couple of hours of sailing down these things. Like it's a really winding and deep cliff. Honestly, like if they didn't so obviously look like natural formations, you would almost think these were canals. like the type of canals you would build to develop to be able to move large ships and cargo and whatnot easily around. And as you're going along, you're seeing more and more, like there's a sunken wharf in an ancient style, worn down over time, all made of stone. There are definitely signs of life in here, but they lead to a cave that has collapsed. And you sail on. What is everyone thinking right now on this island that doesn't exist?
I mean, this is the kind of creepy, impassable crap I was expecting.
I'm just thinking, how much time have we got? Whatever he's doing with this item, he's got to have something planned. Haven't we got enough time?
I think Sabato will turn to Esteban and ask, do you know what the Russian is doing here? Or what we're looking for, what to expect?
I can only think it maybe is more power. This location is obviously secret and magical in some way. Maybe it's makes this artifact that we're looking for even more powerful. That's unthinkable, but he's coming for a reason.
Joey, was this worth the cost he paid?
Gonna make it worth. At least he's gonna try.
And in Daie, it's probably in a place very much like this where you drew your affliction. One of those places where you got in well past what you knew.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about this?
Well, clearly we must be looking for some sort of source or temple. I think it would be obvious when we get to what we're looking for.
Okay.
So she's probably with anticipation.
Okay. So
you know what? Billy's gonna stop looking so inward, and he's gonna reach outward, and he's gonna use his ability to try and. Can he look at distances in different directions, and just because he doesn't know where he's looking for?
Yeah,
right?
you can just try and kind of poke out here and there if you'd like.
Let's just start using the evil eye.
Okay.
He's gonna use the evil eye with an extra swig of rum.
Okay.
Maybe 2.
All right. So the evil eye is an intelligence check. So this will be, and you're not going that far. So let's just say it's a 1. So it'll be a 19 you're rolling against, and you get to add, if you have a skill you think would apply, 22. So you are seeing much jungle in here. Let me show you a couple. One thing that you would view.
I'm wondering if folk tales, because this place is been talked about.
Yeah.
Disappearing tavern tales about the island that disappeared, and maybe in one of those stories he recognizes something, and that's what he finds. Or
Billy, absent the person you see in there, that this is what you see. It's not far ahead. And then there is a feeling of something isn't right.
we have the copyright logo in the bottom left corner. That's good. Legit.
Let's see. And something suddenly occupies your mind. Something has connected with you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's great. That's good. It's the friendly person. Unlike that.
Billy, something has reached you from a very, very far distance. Would you give us a wisdom save? Wisdom save against a DC of 8. Come on. It's an 18 you need. This thing is trying to effectively cause an aneurysm on you. But you are resisting it. What do you do, Billy? Do you want to try and break off contact?
No. I push back.
Okay, what are you going to
do? One of my other abilities, the one that allows you to skim their mind, I want to probe into who they are and what they want.
Yeah. Give us so this will be, again, a wisdom check. I think same thing. It'll be a wisdom check against an 8. A challenge level 8, so that'll be an 18 for you. Do you have any abilities to give you a bonus to this?
Strange shores.
Or should I call them abilities? Okay, so that is a 14 plus Strange Shores gives you +2 is a 16. You want to spend a fate point?
Sure.
Okay, give us a 1d8 roll. He's just nudges it over. So you can feel this. There's this, like, almost like you can imagine that your heart's pounding so hard in your head you can't hear anything outside of it. And this thing is locked in with you. It's shaking and whatnot because of the tenuous connection. But you are able to push back. What is it you say?
What do you want?
I am the bridge. And maintaining the connection will cost you 1d8 damage now. So just give us a 1d8. Or hold on, I gotta give you your token. How about I give you your token? Here you go. Whoop.
Yeah, I'm able to take my
there you go. And you guys can see, I think, I'm moving him around. How about I send him to the proper layer first? What do you think you see as this struggle is happening, Billy? What do you think everyone else sees on the deck?
Well, earlier I described that, Billy, his eyes go white and he's probing out, but then this thing's probing back at him, and I think his eyes start to turn gray a little bit, so they're like it's different. It's not, if the captain's watching, he's not seeing what he's seeing every single time, and it's and then Billy starts like visibly like sweating.
So you take 5 points of damage. Blood begins to sort of form down first his nose, and your red bars your hit points. Do you wish to try and push back again?
No, I think I'm in over my head. I'm going to pull out.
Okay, give us a wisdom check. This thing does not wish. Again, he is the bridge. You are the anchor. Come on. 18.
Oh.
Whoa! You were on the deck.
There's a being, a creature, hairless, a large upper head and eyes, and it is the bridge. Now I'm the anchor. I felt like it was trying to make my head burst, and then I don't know, I pushed back and tried to find out what it wanted, and its mental powers are formidable. But I saw a temple captain ahead up the riverways, a temple with odd shapes and carvings. I think that's where we head.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Obviously, this.
So you sail, and it's as Billy promised. You sort of reach a lagoon not far ahead. And as you sail into this lagoon, what you can see is that there is like an outboard boat, kind of like a whaler's boat. Not like a big ship, but like the kind of rowboat. Probably something that the Heart of Hamza had on it at one point. And it's been pulled ashore. And there is a trail leading up from here. And from here, you can see it does seem to go into the actual island proper. It's not just massive cliffs. Who is going ashore and who is remaining behind?
I feel like we're all going to go ashore.
Yeah, I think this time.
And leave the crew?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys get yourselves ashore, get your stuff. You are moving through here. I think Indaye probably is the one who's best equipped here. She has the native guide background, so she knows definitely how to follow along here.
Yep. I think she has tracking and something related to tracking. So
Indaye, you are up ahead, and you were the first one. Again, your senses are so keen as well. You can hear it. Someone is speaking.
She's
You're making your way through the jungle. Sorry, Carl, I was interrupting. What'd you say?
Well, I thought I keep going. Then when I hear the speaking, I could have people pause because I tell them I hear people talking.
Okay. It is one person speaking. And again, it seems it's German.
Huh.
They must be only maybe 80 feet ahead.
Okay.
What do you guys do?
You want to sneak up? I'm off for just charging in, but we don't know what we're facing.
Yeah, we could try to sneak.
Yeah. I'll try and get close enough to hear what they're saying.
Okay.
If they're talking.
And if it's a chanting again?
And if it's, sorry?
If it's that chanting again, Don Esteban, you got the ability to take them out without this, or do we just...
I don't think it would be that this time, but...
Okay.
Did you guys tell the captain about the chanting?
Yeah, I think we told the whole thing about what was going on in the ship.
Yeah. Okay.
But this time it's only one voice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get close enough to hear what
Sure.
they say.
Give us a dexterity check, and I'm trying to think if you got anything that would... Can't remember if the raider gets like a move silent class ability or not.
Not I can see anything specific.
Okay.
Let's just see how we get on there.
Okay. And you would be able to add Raider of the Lost Arcana to that, because that seems like basically the way I'm sort of interpreting that is if Magic Indiana Jones could do it, then you can do it.
Right, yeah.
So that's an 18. So you get up closer, and Indaye, are you going alongside him?
Yes.
Yep. Give us a check, and Indaye another dex check, and then you're going to be able to add Field Guide, and I can't remember if you got a... No, just a Field Guide, I guess. So, yeah.
Yeah,
So the two of you sneak up, and you can hear there's a little bit of like a tunk sound, as if like something hitting wood as you get closer. And what you see, crouched against a tree on his knees, is the Orphan Maker.
Oh, wow.
Only he is muttering and using his a knife to carve symbols into this palm tree. He seems to be completely unaware of you, and he continues muttering. Don Esteban, you are the only one who speaks German, but in Daya, you will never forget what that chanting is now that you have been exposed to it. He's repeating what they heard before. I am the bridge anointed by the crown, the Vril, and the dragon, and Hyperborea flows through me. I am what is to be, and I am what was, what is, and what is to be. I am all. And he's repeating it over and over and carving it into the wall. He is a Cossack. He is Russian. It's conceivable he could know German as well, but what do you guys think?
This is a dilemma. I mean, should we try to snap him out of it? I mean, he's an enemy, but
I think we should kill him. This is not your...
Yeah, I think he's done too much damage in the world. And, yeah, he's just adding to this horrible ritual business. I think we need to put an end to him.
So what do you do?
I don't know if we want to try and get everyone else so we can get the jump on him.
If you bring him, if you walk back to everyone else, you can bring him forward. He is not going to change. You guys can all see him at the... And I think that you've heard tales of the Orphan Maker from Don Esteban. Like, this guy is a absolute legend at butchery, and he is completely and utterly reduced to a pathetic shell in service to some kind of magical ritual.
So he's definitely under the influence, because he'd have heard us before.
Yeah.
You can actually walk up next to the side of him, and you can see his eyes are fluttering in the back of his head, just like those in the hull of the Heart of Hamza were. Whoever the Orphan Maker was when you faced him, that person is no longer in existence.
Yeah. I mean, do you want the honors? He's probably wronged you more than he has me.
yeah, I mean, we can. I think the first time we attack him, he's gonna come too, but I don't.
Well, I think just slit his throat, and I think
this is a matter of like if you wish to kill this person, you can kill him. He has no.
Put him out of his misery, unless you want me to do it. The captain will step forward with his like saber out or whatever he's got, his cutlass.
I think I'll let the captain. I don't know.
Yeah, and Dai, how do you feel about this? Like, this is, you got that scar. Your face kind of twitches.
I know, but it's like this. It's not sporting. She's, her tales of musketeers, are in her head. Sporting is not the word.
Fantastic,
it's not fair play.
I love it.
Not fair play.
Okay, so there's a moment, and you see she turns and walks away from it, and then Captain, do you do the?
Yeah, I don't have a problem.
I hesitate to say honors, but
yeah.
So yeah.
It's not really an honor. It's
yeah,
putting him out of his misery essentially.
We then cut to you guys arriving first in entry to some ruins. There is no sound in them. They seem to be completely and utterly empty. Now, this is what you saw, Billy. And if you venture deeper in, you find yourself standing before the partially collapsed entrance. In Daiye, is that chanting you hear in there?
More chanting, I tell him.
How do we protect ourselves from this chanting? Don Esteban, do you have any ideas? Can we just not hear it?
I mean, was it getting in our heads? Did I have a sense of how it got into me? How it got to me? Was it by hearing it, or it just attacked my mind? Or
you rolled pretty well. I think what you, it's almost like, I'm trying to think of what you would maybe think of it in. It's almost like a supernatural ill humor in the air.
So it's just an area effect almost that you got no way of blocking if you're in that area.
You can hear people chanting and whatnot too, but that is in the same way that, like, for the chanting, for magic and whatnot, it's not saying the words that's magic, it's the intent behind it. But the expression of magic, of the words, is still an important part of that ritual. What this invocation that they have been saying over and over again, this is what that is a symptom of the underlying supernatural sickness, and that seems to be spread similarly in a supernatural means, just by being present to it. There may be with time something you could create to deaden it if you understood more about what it was, but this is so far beyond. And you can't, I think your mind goes back to what the trader had said. Imagine what the power behind those first words spoken and first words fixed. Imagine the resonance of those. Every word spoken, every word, more to the point, every word written afterwards would be an echo of those, in a way.
So someone started this, and it's just continuing. We need to find the source of, who started this sorcery, which I assume is the Russian.
Right.
Let's go.
To move forward.
So this
find him.
Is of course who you expect down there. You steel yourselves, and you can hear a single voice as you make your way down into the blackness. Your light, I'm assuming, from your saber once again, Don Esteban.
Yep. So goes one.
And then, as you guys, why don't you each give us a wisdom save against a DC of, let's say, 3. As you're making your way down.
It's not like those.
Not my first dance.
Yes.
Hey, how's everyone doing here? Let's see here. We got.
I got an 11, so I don't.
Ooh, and don't
Kev, how do you calculate this? It's something I've never totally.
So it's again the challenge level. You take your challenge base, which is your, if it's a prime, it's a 10. If it's a secondary, it's 14. If it's a tertiary, it's 18. You add the challenge level, which is a 3. So that tells you what number you need to target. So for what is
so for me it was a 13. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, 13 says you're good. You're good.
So for Endaya, it's I guess it's going to be a 17 because her
17 for Endaya and a 13 for Donette. Oh wait, 13 or 17 for Donette?
Mine's 17 as well. Yeah.
You guys want to spend your fate points?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. This is my last one.
Oh man.
But for you, hold on. Isn't that close for what you needed? 4 or 5.
I missed by 1. If it's a 3 level.
Oh,
I've got Iron Will, which I completely overlooked, which gives me +2 to my wisdom save. So I did actually make this one.
Okay, so you're going down, and I think you notice that Ndaye is staggering a little bit behind, and she is commenting further. She's also beginning to fall into this ritual. Looks like everyone else made their saves. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, and you then hear from down below a voice. Esteban. I have waited for you. You can still hear the chanting in German.
Can I see him at this point, or?
You have your attention focused because Ndaye seems to be speaking this German as well.
I'm not convinced that I can snap her out of it, so I think at the moment I'm gonna get hold of her and sort of bring her with us, but keep hold of her so that she don't.
She is happily going down. As you guys walk down, you seem to be standing in a chamber that is... does anyone else have a light source apart from Don Esteban's sword?
Could we rig some torches or something? There's nothing on our sheet.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like you can use whatever you think, a storm lantern or a torch or whatever you think would be.
I imagine like some kind of an interesting ship's lantern that the captain has.
Okay, so you are looking around. You can picture very much in the style of the illustration. You see spalling out. There is water down here that seems dripping and echoing out in this massive chamber. And once Esteban joins you, you guys can see that Ndaye has been afflicted with this once again and is speaking. And that is when there is a small light that appears at the far end of the chamber. It's probably about 100 feet off, drifting above a pool.
Oh gosh.
And around this thing there drifts about 26 cuneiform clay tablets. And its voice carries across and speaks in whatever language is your native tongue, the one you are most familiar with. And with a Russian accent, it says, "I have been waiting for you." And that brings our first part of our year-long campaign to a close, guys.
Oh, no.
That is the conclusion of Raiders of the Lost Arcana. So, as a reminder for those listening at home, this is but part one of a 6-part campaign that will be spreading across a wide span of history, featuring a wide variety of heroes, featuring a singular, ongoing story connected across time and space. So, will we see these heroes again? We will have to see. But, and what is their ultimate fate? We will have to see. For those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for this first part of our charity campaign. If you wish to make donations yourself to the Heroes Save Villages campaign that benefits SOS Children's Villages International Charity, there is a link down below. And starting tomorrow, I will have the voting open for the next session. We'll be voting on where we'll be going to in time, what specific time, what type of heroes we're going to be seeing play, and what game we'll use to play it. And I'll have some interesting connections to this adventure for you to decide. So, will we be seeing relatives of these people, ancestors of these people? Will we see legacy of what they have done or seen or gone to? We'll have to see what the voters decide or the donors decide on. Head on down to the Heroes Save Villages campaign. A $10 donation Canadian is all you need to make in order to cast your votes. If you do up that to a $25 Canadian donation, you get to vote on the next session of this, and you also get a chance to win one of the grand prizes, or one of the other great prizes in our next charity raffle, which include a custom session I'll run for you and a bunch of the roster players. Includes copies of the Genesis core. What is it? The Genesis Rebirth core. I got 2 sets of those I picked up to give away as prizes. Dave is donating a chainmail dice bag once again for this. So some great prizes in addition to that. But all you need to do to vote is $10 donation through that link. I will spare the usual other outro because this has been a very long session, and what I will end with is a huge thank you to our players who agreed to play. Not only agreed to play in this session, but also for Darren and Carl in particular. Jeff was not feeling well when we originally had this scheduled, and both Darren and Carl very kindly agreed to postpone until such time as Jeff was feeling up to playing. So thank you so much, guys. Dave, Jeffrey, I should say, David, Darren, and Carl, thank you so much for making this such a great first session. I had an enormous amount of fun. This is so much better than what I could have possibly hoped for a first session. So you guys role-played the hell out of these characters. Thank you so much for such a great session.
This was great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Then, for those listening at home, we will be back for part 2 the Year of Ill-Omens campaign. And we will see what other secrets we can uncover in that one. But we'll have more about when that's going to be and whatnot. If you do want to vote, if you have donated since January 1st, 2023, head on over to the Dungeon Musing Discord servers charity initiatives channel. You can find a link down to the Dungeon Musings Discord server down below. Head on over there and see what you can be voting on. There'll be a fairly fast turnaround because our next session is in like 2 weeks' time. So we're going to be kind of speed running our way towards that one. But yeah, until then, we hope that we gave you a couple of hours to turn your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our Raiders of the Lost Arcana are uncovering in the course of their travels in the Caribbean and across space and time. And thank you again to all the generous donors who have helped make this session possible. This was some great, it really made me think of some really, pushed me into some areas that I wouldn't have normally written on. I generally don't like writing for pirate stuff, but this was a fun challenge and a really great, a lot of fun to write this, the characters in the session and whatnot. So thank you for that. I look forward to seeing what we're going to be playing next. So then, until then, I've already done that part of the outro, haven't I? I'm caught in a time loop. Oh no! We hope that we gave you, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you for your generosity, and happy gaming.
See ya.